He joins us now from the Ghent Arena. Amy, when you were speaking to David Gray there, it sounded like a really boisterous, noisy atmosphere.
That's a change from the rave. You're trying to get away from that because you don't know what one is.
Yes.
It's absolutely tremendous, and I must say it's really the Hibs fans that are bringing the atmosphere, David. It's a fantastic arena, but everything that the guys have just been saying there about when you come away from home in Europe and trying to handle the occasion, there's not that kind of fear of a hostile away or home crowd in this instance. It's by no means packed at all. There are thousands upon thousands of empty seats. It's actually really, really sparse from a home perspective. It's quite a surprise, especially when you think that Hibs had sold out their away allocations so swiftly. They really did try and hope for more, and there's two sections of the stand right beside them that are absolutely empty. You can see the first K and A of KAA Ghent in the stand opposite me here. So it is very much the away fans that are bringing the atmosphere. They are absolutely packed into that corner. They are clearly have enjoyed their afternoon on Ian Gordon's bank card, but it's a fantastic arena, as I mentioned there. It's like a right fishbowl sort of atmosphere. Sorry, you were down in the bowels of it doing that interview. There's maybe about 6 or 7 steps from where I was up into the dugout onto the pitch. So a really, really classy place where Hibs will be certainly hoping that they take that one big step towards history.
Great stuff, Amy, and Amy will keep us updated throughout the course of the evening. We're just a few minutes away from kick-off there in Belgium, also at Fir Park. Motherwell versus Freiburg kicks off also at 7:30. I was just wondering, Tom, we were talking about Hibs and listening to David Gray there. They've got an exciting looking team up front. Owen Elding, 3 goals, 2 in Europe, 1 in the League Cup. I'm wondering, are Hibs beginning to look as though the whole is now kind of equal, maybe not greater than the sum of its parts, but at least equal to it, whereas previously, started seeing it didn't look like that?
Is that Tom or is that Tomo?
Tom.
Oh, Tom, okay. Yeah, look, every time I look at the Hibs team and the Hibs squad, and with Elding in it, and I'm a big Elding fan, I think a lot of people are, I think this is the squad that can do something. And then you look at them, and in periods of games, you think, okay, it's definitely a squad that could do something. And in other periods, you go, no, there's still something missing, and I'm not quite sure what it is. Like, consistency is missing. But why is the consistency missing? I still can't put my finger on it, but I think they have a decent squad. They could do it a few more, but I think they have a decent squad. I think they've got good attacking threat. I think they've got decent players in the midfield.
It's been a right good week for them.
It's been a very good week. It's been a very good week.
Coming here to Ibrox winning.
Yeah.
The European game going through.
Yeah.
And into the quarters of the cup. I mean,
listen, I mean that's brilliant, and you kind of, I wouldn't say you expect that from Hibs, but you can see how they are getting these results. It's the consistency. It's kind of falling off a cliff sometimes. David Gray, I think, is terrific. I hope he's silenced his critics at Easter Road, because, as Thomas says, he's had a great week. I think there's a lot of potential in this Hibs setup. You know, I'm fascinated to see if they can keep this up. If they can just string good performances, good wins, and good points here and there in a row. Because I'm excited what they've got. And in Elding, I think they've pulled off a bit of a master stroke there, because I think he's going to be a terrific player.
Andy, what are your thoughts on the Hibs season thus far, and also Owen Elding?
Well, I'll start with Owen Elding, because I think he's a really promising prospect. I think he's got loads of attributes for such a young player. I thought, listen, it's one of these small ones that sometimes can get lost, but I thought his play in the Hibs winner at Ibrox was absolutely outstanding. In particular, it was a game for me that was fairly direct from a Hibs point of view. You know, for a young man to come on in that type of game where you've been backed against the wall for the last 20 minutes and show that level of composure, to bring players into play, to attack and then get that second goal. And he's someone that I envisage Hibs will make a lot of money for. You know, in terms of the start to the season so far, obviously there was a couple of bumps early on. They had a really poor result away in Kosovo in the first leg. They didn't have a great start to the league campaign, obviously with a 2-1 defeat to Motherwell. But no, Tom mentioned that word consistency. I think that has been an element, sorry, of Hibs' last season, that got away from them at times. I think their record at Easter Road was excellent up until the split, but away form, they probably never picked up enough wins to get closer to Rangers in third. But the start to the season for me has been fairly promising so far. They look as if they're a team that are almost better when they're playing against the ball, when they have to sit in, soak up pressure and try and hit teams in the counter-attack with the pace they've got up front. And I think that's something that will certainly suit them tonight, going away to Ghent, if they take a similar approach to how they did at Ibrox and then what they did over North Macedonia.
Tom, Owen Elding, forgive me if I'm wrong, but he was in the Ireland squad before he had an Irish passport.
Yeah, and you know, they think an awful lot of him over there. I had a couple of journalists on to me about him, and they were telling me more about him than I was telling them about him. But they think over there, they think he's a one to watch. They loved his personality when he was in Ireland. He's got a real presence. We can see what he's like on the pitch. I think he's a very, very promising player. But I think they're really warm to him as a person, and everyone is watching him. Like, there's a lot of eyes on him in Ireland, and it's Jamie McGrath as well. There's a few others in there. He's an exciting player. I'm intrigued to see how he gets on, but certainly in Ireland there's a lot of chat about him. There's almost as much chat, not quite, but as much chat about Elding and Killian Phillips and these guys, these players, that there is about Celtic at the moment over there. There's just a little bit of intrigue about these guys, because obviously with the Irish Republic of Ireland interest.
Right, let's head back to Ibrox then. I know you guys are already there, but I'm in Pacific Quay, and Jane Lewis has managed to track down Mr. Derek McInnes ahead of his side's tie this evening.
Derek, let's start with your team news. First of all, one change, Dan Neil in for Nico Raskin. Your thinking?
So I was quite keen to have the same team. I was really pleased with the performance on Sunday, not only from an attacking threat, but I actually thought in terms of control of the game. Nico, we're just trying to manage his minutes at the minute. He's got a wee bit of an ankle issue, and we had an injection after the game on Sunday, so with that in mind, we're just kind of looking after him, and Dan Neil comes into the team. But everything else, we're hoping for something similar, in the sense that I thought we had good attacking threats, obviously scoring 5 goals at home. You've naturally got to be pleased, but we actually created a lot more chances as well. And if we can control the transitions here, which we haven't done in the European games up until now, and we've got to make sure that we are smart with our work tonight. But hopefully the performance is something similar to Sunday, which gives us a chance, I feel, to win the game.
I think when some of us saw that Nico had been dropped to the bench, that maybe kind of sparked some speculation that maybe kind of there was movement on leaving the club, but that's not the case. He's got a wee niggle, you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think Nico's always going to be ongoing speculation. I think from now until the window, and whatever happens. I mean, obviously I can't control that, but I think he's certainly one that we know may be a flight risk and maybe one that leaves. But every player's got either an opportunity if the price is met. But it's nothing to do with that tonight. For us tonight, it's just to make sure that we're looking after him. He's been good as gold since he came in, come back from the World Cup, and keen to play his part, which is great for me.
Were you tempted to give Lauren Shankland the nod this evening, maybe just to try and kind of kickstart his confidence a wee bit?
Yeah, I think we've got some good players that can. Lauren's been one of them that you always consider, but I think the fact that we've, for the first time, we've not went Thursday Sunday, and we have a week now, so I think that we've had a few days rest, and I was really quite pleased with the performance. So it was kind of more or less the same again, and for that reason, that's why the team's picked.
And what are you expecting from your opponents tonight?
So it's always difficult to tell when you just watch them in their own league, and obviously they've played a couple of teams that they should be beating anyway in Europe. I think they're good technically. I think they play the game at their own pace. They've changed their team. They've dropped a wee 10, I think, to get more legs in midfield. And I think with the way they've come in with the team, I think that's to maybe match up on our legs in middle of the park, because I thought that was really quite prominent in Sunday. A good striker, Joe, at the top of the pitch, needs to be it'll keep us honest, and we need to keep on top of him. But I think they're a team technically who are decent on the ball, as you'd expect, and a few players of note that needs to be kept quiet. But I think it's important that we play the game at our pace, we play the match at our tempo, and we try and impose ourselves in the game. And hopefully, if we can do that and be as ruthless as we were at the weekend, hopefully we can have a good night and take a good lead over to the Czech Republic.
Yeah, what sort of confidence do you take into tonight from the weekend?
Yeah, I think it's important that, because you can essentially any positives for games, but unless you're winning, it's difficult to kind of sell that, and I think that for everybody. And I think when we won the game, it was just a huge relief in the sense that we got the reward for our work. I thought the previous Sunday game against Hibs, I thought we didn't get the reward for a lot of good play, and the result was more than a bit harsh. But obviously here the intention's to win games, and you have to win. So it was good coming in Monday morning on the back of a win, and that was why we were keen to kind of go with a similar team.
Just a final one on Europe and that journey continuing. How imperative is that for club? And I guess as a manager, you want to be there as well, don't you?
Yeah, I think it is important. Obviously this club has been built on some brilliant occasions and years where we've done well in Europe. We would like this to be another one. Obviously we've got work to do. The squad's still working towards being at our strongest, but in the meantime it's important we try and see the importance of winning tonight and getting through the tie and getting ourselves into the group stages, because not only from a financial point of view for the club, but just that feel-good factor for the supporters to have that European football every other week is vitally important. We want to do as well as we can.
Good luck, enjoy it.
Thank you. Cheers, Jim.
See you at the end.
Well, we're talking feel-good factor. Let's head to Fir Park. Kerdy Nidsan has a bit of news for us.
How about this for a scoreline? Motherwell 1, Freiburg 0. After 2 minutes, Emmanuel Longello streaked down the left wing, played it into Regan Charles Cook, and his deft finish went into the bottom corner past a helpless Mio Backhouse in the Freiburg goal. An absolutely dream start for Motherwell. Fir Park couldn't believe it. Bedlam here.
Thanks very much, Cerdine. Before we reflect on Jane's interview with Derek McInnes, I think we should maybe come to Tom English for his thoughts.
Well, as I was saying a few minutes ago, this is a very winnable tie for Motherwell. Extremely winnable, and I had a quite fancy for him. So I'm really glad I got that out before that goal.
A long way to go in that, but what a dream start for you.
Unbelievable.
Dream start, Andy.
Unbelievable.
Amazing, absolutely incredible. Honestly, I mentioned that for me, Motherwell fans going there tonight, it was almost all about the occasion. Over 8,500 fans at Fir Park, and I suppose I never added this, but I probably should have. Can the team provide a moment for them? Can they get a moment that they can remember for many years to come? And I never expected it. I never expected the moment to be a 1-0 lead against Europa League finalist Freiburg within 2 minutes. And Manny Longello, I mean, we talk about players linked with moves away for clubs. Motherwell fans won't thank me for this, there's no doubt whatsoever, but I just don't understand how he's not got suitors up and down the country, because what a season he had last year, and he started this season ever so well as well.
Let's head back to Fir Park and see what's happened subsequently. Cerdine, I'm just wondering how are Motherwell approaching things now? Are they on the front foot, or have they parked the Fir Park bus?
There'll be no parking of any buses here in this bit of Lanarkshire, certainly according to Alfred Johansson, who all in black is stalking the touchline down in front of me. He's absolutely thrilled by these opening 8.5 minutes, because Motherwell have more than held their own against Freiburg. Remember, this is the Germans' first competitive game of the season. I wondered whether Well might be able to catch them cold. Well, they have so far. Nobody clearly is going to get carried away, but you could not conceivably have hoped for a better start than that terrific. It was typical Motherwell, the kind of fast-flowing, attractive football for which they've become known in the past year or so. Lovely move, excellent touch, really nice goal. The fans, some of whom were still arriving, couldn't believe how well they'd started the game. It's gone a wee bit quieter since. I think that's maybe because some of them are in shock, frankly, but it's still 1-0 to Motherwell at the moment. They're having to do a wee bit of defending because Freiburg are just starting to find their feet in this match and starting to put a wee bit of pressure on the Motherwell goal. There was a shot from the edge of the area that went just wide, and now Motherwell have got everybody back defending this Freiburg free kick, and there's a shot coming in here. Good save from the goalkeeper. That's the first real involvement for Alex Paulsen. A ripple of applause goes round three of the stands here. The German fans all in white away up in the top deck of the away stand. They're waving their flags at the moment, but their team is a goal down. Motherwell are looking good. Whisper it.
Thanks very much, Kerden. You see, I mean, I suggested that maybe Motherwell could catch Freiburg cold with the Germans not having played any games. Stephen Thompson, but I was poo-pooed.
No, I was never in doubt, David. Never in doubt.
Yeah, well, so there's let's head to Belgium. Amy Canavan, do you have news for us? Ghent versus Hibernian?
Nothing especially, David, but I'm always happy to hear from you. We're about just nearly 10 minutes in, and I have to say it has been all Ghent, just as once again they're coming down this near hand side. But Hibs have had one corner in the last few minutes, and that was their first foray really into the Ghent defensive half. It really has been all on the attack from the home side. They're really given the Hibs backline a little bit of a run-in at the moment, but they've not let up like that golden opportunity. There's nothing really been too much to do for Raphael Salinger. They don't seem to have that end product just quite yet, but I think David Gray is a little bit, he's just as he's asking these players there, shouting and whistling a few little things on, but again, that's just another ball, high sort of hopeful ball, and it's just trickled out. So Hibs will take that all day long, but it very much has been Ghent in the opening 10 minutes.
All right, thank you very much. 10 minutes gone at the games involving Motherwell and Hibernian. Less than 5 minutes till kick-off at Ibrox, where Rangers are playing Jablonec of the Czech Republic. Alistair Lamont will be your match commentator this evening. I think I should hand over to him.
Thanks, David. The teams have just come out onto the field as the players exchange handshakes on the halfway line. Jablonec making their way off to our left-hand side with a white top, black shorts and white socks. This evening is welcome everyone to Ibrox for what is another crucial early season game for Rangers, one which, well, they simply cannot afford not to win for any number of reasons. The win over St Mirren on Sunday brought a much-needed degree of positivity. Can Rangers build on that and give themselves a platform to reach the Conference League proper? Rangers, just one change from the weekend, as we heard Jane speaking to Derek McInnes. Nico Raskan just nursing an ankle knock, but there certainly has been talk of a potential move for him in recent days and weeks, so we'll see what comes of that. The Rangers team just having their picture taken as Ibrox just very slowly fills up. It's not going to be full for tonight's match. A little bit of disillusionment, you would imagine, amongst the fans, particularly in terms of what happened in Europe in the last couple of weeks, losing out to Jagiellonia of Poland in the Europa League. So it's Conference League at best for Rangers, but surely a season without European football is one they cannot begin to contemplate. They haven't missed out on Europe since that dreadful season 2017-2018 when aside from Luxembourg, Progress Niederkorn sent them crashing out of the Europa League qualifiers under Pedro Caixinha. A 2-1 aggregate defeat on that occasion. The teams are swapping in, so Rangers will kick towards the Copeland Road end in the first half, which is not their favoured setup, but the boos round Ibrox you hear because Jablonec have gone into what the Rangers fans presumably consider to be a Celtic type huddle as Rangers prepare to get us underway. We're kind of ready very early here. It's only 17 minutes to 8, but everyone seems to be raring to go. So the Romanian referee is Marian Barbu, and he is awaiting the signal from his colleagues in the touchline here. The Rangers coach Paul Sheeran just calling Vanja Dragojevic over for a final instruction as Tochi Chukwani prepares to kick us off. Let's quickly though head to Ghent. There's a penalty in that game between Ghent and Hibs.
It's penalty, Hibs as well, Al. It's Warren O'Hara. You may be thinking, what on earth is he doing up in the opposite penalty box to win a penalty? But he is up there. He does it remarkably well, actually, to keep the ball sort of in play. He gets it, he does offload the ball, and then the defender, Nikom, sort of comes in and clatters into him. The ball is away. It's one of those, I wasn't sure if it would be awarded, but it is standing, and Owen Eldon right now is just going through his steps. And he, with the left foot, it's saved, it's pushed away, it's carried away by Davy Roof. And it is the home fans that are in delight. It remains Ghent 0, Hibs 0.
That's disappointing, thanks Amy. Big chance here for Owen Eldon to get what could have been a crucial away goal. Not that away goals count as much as they used to, but
still crucial all the same.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was getting at. But
good.
Anyway, we are underway here. Nothing majorly happened in the opening minute as Jablonec begin to come forward in the left-hand side, and ball forward. Pandur comes out of his area and clears, but already Yuri Slama looking lively down that left-hand side for the visitors. And Rangers will be hoping to start the game on the front foot and get forward themselves, but it's Jablonec trying to do exactly that right now. Sterling though makes the challenge, and it's out for it looked like a Jablonec throw-in, but the referee pointing in Rangers' favour, and there's a bit of disbelief in the visiting ranks as Sterling prepares to take this throw-in about 20 yards or so from the corner flag on the right-hand side, as Rangers trying to get the ball into the Jablonec half. Here's Yokota just clipping it forward. Gassama claiming he was being held back. The referee just wags the finger at him, says no, there wasn't enough in that, and so Jablonec pick up through their captain Teki Jaski, Serbian. Here he is midway inside his own half, playing it square, and then just clip forward up towards the halfway line. Flicked on, but that's Macania there first to knock it back to his goalkeeper. All in red tonight, Ivar Pandur looking for his first clean sheet, and he's knocked that straight out of play, looking for Fernandez, but it's behind him, and Rangers inviting early pressure upon themselves. Andy Halliday.
Yeah, when the ball goes back to Pandur, I can understand his frustration, because for me, Emmanuel Fernandez has to try and make an option for him quicker. Then that being said, once he's not, you just clear the lines, you just play it up the foot. You don't 100%. Try and pass it to a player that's not there.
Looked like a foul throw, and then it comes into the Rangers box, and they managed to deal with that one. But Jablonec have started this game positively. Slama has it again, the left wing back curls it in. That should be Pandur's ball, and it is inside his own 6-yard box, and immediately launches it long. Only Gassama to hit up there, and he can't do so.
You know, Jablonec have got, what, 5 players back, just Gassama up the pitch. It would have to be an incredible pass for that to be able to be brought down and retained by Gassama. They're just giving the ball back to Jablonec, who have started the game well.
Yeah, here they come down the right-hand side this time. Penrice getting involved for the first time, trying to keep the Georgian Chanarishvili at bay. Works it forward, then Dragojevic out to Gassama. He's caught his opponent there, or at least the Jablonec player went down, but eventually knocked out of play for a throw-in to the visitors. And Rangers starting a little bit slowly, you would have to say, as they look to try and provide a decent first leg result to take to the Czech Republic. But it's Jablonec on the attack here, and it's Slama, and just too much on that there. It was Polydar just tried to roll it into the path there of Suchan, just get too much on it. But already there are signs that Jablonec are going to get chances here tonight. Stephen Thompson.
Well, yeah, again, Rangers losing the ball. They did it in the first minute of the game in the middle of the pitch, and immediately Jablonec are onto them, coming out to this left-hand side. And when it came out to Polydar, the weight of pass was vital, because the run had been made beyond Fernandez, but he tries to arrow it into the feet of the striker or the overlapping run and just put too much on it. If he just caresses that in behind, even at a slightly less angle, then they're getting a shot and goal.
It's up to Chikwani and then back to Gassama, but he can't get beyond his marker. And Jablonec pick up once more, and they're getting bodies forward. Back goes Penrice, but he's committed the foul, and he's going to be. Is he going to be yellow carded? He is certainly going to be spoken to by the referee, and he's been told no more of that, or he will be in the book. And it's a free kick midway inside the Rangers half, and an opportunity here for Jablonec to try and work some sort of set piece. And I have to say, Andy, not at all impressed by the way Rangers have started this game.
No, and granted that we're in the opening 5 minutes, but we spoke about this being Rangers' last chance to play European football post-Christmas, and I want it, there's an element of disbelief how they started the game, in and out of possession, so loose, just giving the ball back to Jablonec, and then out of possession it just looks so exposed in the middle of the pitch, and it just looks almost far too easy for Jablonec at this moment in time to get in and around the edge of Rangers' box.
They've already obviously got something planned here, a couple of signs made to the forward players and a couple of dummies, and then the ball's flighted in, and it's not going to be reached by Polydar, who's on the slide there, and it comes to nothing, thankfully, for Rangers. 6 minutes in, no goals at Ibrox, but Jablonec certainly starting the brighter of the two sides, clearly looking to prey upon some continuing nerves in the Rangers ranks. And Gassama's just nudged off the ball there, and Jablonec have it back once more through Tiki Yaski at the back, over to the right hand side. Fire forwards. Macania just lets that one go for Pandur. Rangers will look to try and settle into this game.
Yeah, they just need to get their foot in the ball and make a couple of passes, try and get up the pitch with a wee bit of control.
Nadiri making a run there for Fernandez, but he chooses not to try and play it long. Instead plays it to Macania, who then gets it back again from Pandur, and then out to the left hand side for Penrice. He slides it forward for Gassama on the halfway line, coming in off the left, then flights it out to the right hand side for Yokota. First time he's been able to get involved, brings it under control, and into the penalty area he comes. Little Japanese winger can't make anything of it on that occasion, no, and it's cleared and brought under control here by Jiawo, the Gambian forward, and he's brought to the ground and gets himself a free kick about 15 yards inside Rangers territory. And Yokota offering the hand of apology to his teammates because he was in a decent position there, but just ultimately just kind of ran into the defenders and couldn't find a final ball.
Well, Derek McInnes spoke about before the game, he can't allow the opposition to counter-attack as much as they have in Europe, and again it was another opportunity.
Here come Rangers though. Chikwani, who was good on Sunday, out to Gassama. Penrice in support. Gassama comes inside, unleashes a shot. It's saved by the keeper and onto the roof of the net. Well, Gassama, when he gets hold of these efforts, when he comes in off that left-hand side and lets rip, if he can get them on target, it's always going to cause the keeper a problem, and that one certainly did. But he manages to do enough to keep it out. 8 minutes in, Rangers 0.
Yeah, you can see as soon as he received the ball, he's always trying to come into that favoured right foot, and it just opens up for him. 25 yards out, nobody near him, unleashes a powerful effort. It's got to be said, Hennis didn't look all that comfortable in the Jablonec goal.
He did it a number of times at the weekend, didn't he? Gassama cutting in and trying to get a shot away. One of the occasions very nearly scored off the underside of the bar. Another couple weren't quite as on point, but that was certainly a very decent, powerful strike.
So Rangers corner on this right hand side, taken by Penrice, swings it into the 6-yard box, away by Jiawo. Towering striker, back doing some defending. Penrice caught there. That's got to be a free kick for Rangers. The assistant immediately had his flag up. It wasn't a good challenge. Penrice floored by that one, and it'll be a free kick to Rangers, just a couple of yards in from the right flank, and about 25, maybe slightly more from the goal line. But it's a good position for Penrice to be able to curl one in here as Rangers try to threaten and find the opening goal. 9 minutes in, and Gassama with the first effort for Rangers, saved by the goalkeeper but not entirely convincingly, as Stephen was saying. Now Penrice with an opportunity to put him under a bit more pressure here from the in-swinging free kick. Rangers got plenty of bodies forward. Fernandez and Macania among them. Chukwuani's in there at the edge of the box as well, as Penrice waits the referee's signal. And he comes, swings it in towards the back post. The keeper's come out, gets a good punch to it, collected by Neil, and knocks it back to Sterling in the centre circle. Forward again for Penrice, who nods it down to the edge of the box. No Rangers player there waiting on it, and Jowl picks up. That's a poor challenge. It's a yellow card for Fernandez in the 10th minute. A really rash and needless challenge midway inside Jablonec's own half, and he gets a yellow card, and I don't know what he's thinking.
Just absolutely bizarre. I mean, Jowl receives the ball, there's no runners in behind, so there's no danger. You just have to usher him back towards his own box. And Emmanuel Fernandez did exactly
what he did. He's on tender hooks now for the rest of the game. I mean, it's a wild challenge, absolutely pointless as well, because as you'd like to point out, they're going nowhere. The referee's just stopped the play because there was actually a head knock, which surprisingly the referee didn't clock when the goalkeeper punched away the Penrice free kick. It was Tikiyasuke who took one on the dish, I think, straight from his goalkeeper, and he was down, and the referee didn't stop play, and eventually it leads then to the Fernandez free kick. But yeah, he just gets these rushes of blood to the head, just completely rash and uncalled for.
Yeah, and well, like on Sunday, he was on a yellow card when he gave away a penalty, and I know there was some people questioning why he didn't get a second yellow for that, but now he's got to play, well, best part of 80 minutes and try and avoid a second yellow. Let's get an update from Fir Park. Well, there's a break in play here at Ibrox. Kerry Nidsan's watching Motherwell against Freiburg.
Motherwell still lead by a goal to nil. Regan Charles Cook after a couple of minutes, but Freiburg, as you may expect, are coming right back into this one. Derry Sherhant clipped the junction of post and crossbar with a nice free kick from the edge of the area, and a Suzuki shot just been nicely saved by Paulson in the Motherwell goal, but still the home side is a goal to the good.
And what about events at Tynecastle? They kicked off at 7:45, just like we did at Ibrox. Any goals yet, Brian McLaughlin?
No goals as yet, but a big chance for Rapid Vienna just coming a few moments ago. Peter Dalit was sent clean through in goal, but a good save by Roos in the Hearts goal maintains the clean sheet so far. Here's come Rapid Vienna once again, but it's cleared away. Still 0-0 here, Al.
Thanks, Brian. Gloomy skies over Ibrox, threatening rain, but it's dry for the moment as Jablonec take the free kick as a result of that Fernandez challenge a moment ago. Sterling just trying to see it out of play, does enough to see it behind for the goal kick. I think a few eyebrows raised that Sterling kept his place when we've got the new signing on the bench, Costa Nedeljkovic, but clearly hadn't trained really with Rangers all that much. Maybe got a bit with the team yesterday, but certainly has been involved in Aston Villa's pre-season and should be pretty quickly up to speed. There's been a goal at Fir Park. Let's hear about it from Kerry Nidsan.
It silenced the home crowd because Freiburg have an equaliser. I'm just trying to see who's headed the ball into the net. It's, who is that? The number 28 for Freiburg, Matthias Ginter. It is a lovely free kick clipped in to the edge of the 6-yard box, and it was a nice header. Sherhant's free kick, the header there from Ginter. It's Motherwell 1, Freiburg 1.
Thanks, Cerdine. Here's Nadiri just laying that off for Neil out to the left-hand side for Penrice. Rangers coming forward, looking for the opening goal here after 13.5 minutes. As Penrice at the edge of the box, left-hand side, just leaves it to Gassama. He goes back to Neil, midway inside the Jablonec half, and it's laid back here to Dragojevic. He goes for goal, and he's not far away. Again, he goes from distance. This time it was a low pile driver from the Serbian midfielder. Well, he certainly looks like he likes a crack from distance. On this occasion, it was just wide of target. 14 minutes in, Rangers nil, Jablonec nil.
He doesn't half out, and it was brilliant play by Ryan Nadiri in the build-up. Lovely little link-up play and offload to Chukwuani. Gassama just sets Dragojevic, and you just see he's just one of the players. As soon as he gets a chance, he wants to have a crack at goal, and it was a great effort.
That wasn't far past the post, was it? Probably only a foot at most. The goalkeeper was at full stretch.
Rangers just upping their game somewhat here as Penrice tries to take on his man over on the right-hand side, but can't get the better of the Georgian Chanarishvili, but it's out for a Rangers throw-in. bit better from Rangers, certainly in the last 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, and for me it's came from individual moments. You know, Gassama going 1v1, cutting into his right foot. That one there, it was a great pass for Fernandes, but lovely little offload for Ryan Nadiri, creates a chance.
Throw and taken, not a great deal of length on it though from Penrice, but he will get it back from Sterling over on that left hand side. It's gone back to Sterling again. He'll have to go back to Pandur under a little bit of pressure there, and then Pandur just launches it long, rather aimless though, and it's returned over the halfway line for Jawo, who's quite an imposing figure up there. Fernandes picks up and plays it to his right to Dujon Sterling, 10 yards or so inside his own half. Forward for Yokota, who's quickly closed down there by Slama. Rangers midway inside their own half, and it's Makanya forward to Gassama, who looks in the mood, flights one out to the right hand side looking for Yokota, brings it under control on the right foot, almost at the byline here, plays it infield for Chukwani. He flights it to the back post. There's a little bit of a shove in there, and the referee spotted it from Dragicevic, I think it was, and it's pretty blatant, to be honest.
Yeah, it was.
It'd be a free kick to Jablonec, but more for Derek McInnes to be pleased about in the last few minutes, Tomo.
Yeah, great switch of play from Gassama, and actually Jokica's first touch was magnificent because the ball bounced right in front of him on a skiddy surface, and he managed to bring it down. Then when the cross comes in, Dragicevic is trying to get in at the back post, and that was a blatant two-handed shove on the defender's back. Referee gave the free kick instantly. But yeah, better from Rangers after a shaky old start.
Yeah, it was rather. No goals for either side though, as Fernandes just knocks the ball into the stand beneath us, midway inside the Rangers half, and a throw in to Jablonec, who have started the season pretty well. 3 straight wins in the league, having finished 5th last couple of seasons actually. Forward they come down the left hand side. They've got themselves another throw in down near the corner flag. This will be a pretty major scalp for them to take if they were to be able to knock Rangers out. We've got a potential long throw being lined up here by Mati Polidar. Into the box it comes, away by Sterling, picked up again by Slama, and then out to Polidar once more, back to Slama, who sends it into the box left footed. It's a header from the edge of the box, never really going to trouble Pandur, who gathers pretty comfortably and bowls it out to Penrice. 17 in, no goals. But Jablonec looking like a pretty decent outfit. They played Celtic back a few years ago in the group stage of the conference, and came out on the wrong side of that. Sorry, it was in Europa League qualifying. They played Celtic, losing 4-2 and 3-0. It's their only ever meeting with a Scottish club. Dragicevic going back the way over the halfway line to Fernandes. Fernandes looks up, plays out to the right hand side for Yokota, and then Dragicevic forward looking for Sterling, who'd advanced, and then Dragicevic with a clumsy challenge gives away the free kick midway inside Jablonec's own half, and it's dinked forward. Good challenge though from Makanya, who's on his toes there, and now Gassama driving towards the penalty area, finds Yokota at the edge of the box, then Dragicevic on the left foot. That one's blocked at the edge of the penalty area. Neither Gassama nor Yokota nor Dragicevic were really properly set for the shot there. The ball was always just underneath their feet. And here's Chukwani into Gassama, who tries to get turned at the edge of the area, curls one, but it's just always rising over the top. It goes 18 and a half in, Rangers nil, Jablonec nil.
Wasn't a million miles away, was it? But for me, in this opening 18 minutes, Rangers' best opportunity actually looks like coming from winning the ball back and attacking quickly, because when they're in settled possession, they just look so rigid to me, Al. There's not enough movement, there's not enough rotations, not enough people running behind. There's a lot of standing and waiting for someone to create a moment. I don't think it's been a great start to this game for Rangers in the opening 18 minutes or so.
Sterling picks up possession, and Yokota back to Sterling, back in field to Fernandes, just inside his own half. Now it's Makanya out to the left hand side for Gassama, who's not only started his game well, but he was lively against St Mirren, got his goal. Thought he made a difference when he came on against Hibs as well, despite the fact that they went on to lose the game, of course. Here's Chukwani into Zagajevic, just behind Sterling. He'll have to go and chase that one to make sure it stays in on the halfway line. Back the way to Fernandes. We will get out to Ghent again for another update from Amy in a moment, as Fernandes picks up once more from Macania. Plays it into the midfield. It's a terrible ball from Fernandes, and it's easily picked up by Jablonec. And forward now they come with Jawo on this left-hand side now, through between a couple of players, then he goes down. The referee says a free kick. Let's quickly hear from Amy and Ghent.
Nothing happening too much, Al. Still 0-0, 34 and a half in here. I must say though, Hibs really holding their shape well. They've not been too downhearted by that penalty missed by Owen Eldon, but it is still 0-0 here.
Okay, thanks Amy. A free kick in a good position here for Jablonec, left-hand side of the penalty area. And again, it was Fernandes just playing his team into trouble. I mean, when he's good, he's very good, and he offers such a threat in the air. But
Andy's point's a good one though. When he's standing with the ball at his feet looking for a pass, the lack of options and movement in front of him, I'm not dissolving him or blame for the bad pass, but there's not enough options for players on the ball.
Referee just having a word with a couple of players who are jostling inside the penalty area. Saw earlier today Howard Webb, who's in charge of the English referees, saying there's going to be fewer warnings from the refs, which is good news. I don't know if it's going to be incorporated up here. They're just going to let them get on with it and penalise anything that needs penalised, which is the way I reckon it should be. Anyway, here's the free kick, left-hand side, driven in low, and it's just not behind, and it's going to be a goal kick. It was dangerous if it had just taken a nick at the near post, but fortunately for Rangers, it was not behind, and it remains 0-0 as the rain does begin to team down now here in the south side of Glasgow. As Andy's been saying, not a great start to this game by any stretch of the imagination from Rangers. Dragicevic waiting on the ball there, and the fans getting on his back as it didn't arrive. It was intercepted, and Jokita now doing a bit of pressing though. Rangers trying to win it back high up the field, but Jablonec able to play around them. Dragicevic not happy there wasn't a man tracking Suchan there, and then Jablonec get another free kick. It's Fernandes again who's penalised for the challenge on Jawo. And it's all a little bit untidy from Rangers as Sedlacek takes the free kick back the way to Pavlovic, and now it's the captain Tekiyaski. Back to Pavlovic, and then out to the right-hand side. Jablonec will be much more pleased with the way they've started the game, you would imagine, as Macania hammers it forward over the halfway line, and Penrice tries to help it on Aderi, a little touch inside, but he can't link with a teammate. Chukwani goes in there and can't win it either. Then it's helped on by Dragicevic. It's all very bitty from Rangers, you have to say, as Neil does a little bit of tidying up there and gets it to Macania, and you can hear a restlessness among the crowd. Derek McInnes out at the edge of his technical area. What's he trying to say to the players, do you think, Andy?
Make options for the ball, I'm guessing, because there's a whole lot of standing about watching somebody when they're on the ball. I mean, we're 23 minutes of the game. I think it's been such a poor quality game. Rangers have played a huge part in that, it's got to be said, but I'm just watching just now. Rangers had 5 players on the last line watching someone in central defence on the ball, but there's no rotations, no movement, nobody trying to get on the ball to try and make a difference.
Yeah, it's all very strange. You've got to imagine they're working on things like that in training, but not producing it on the park tonight, that's for sure. So far as Jokita is forced back the way by his marker Slama, worked out to the left-hand side. Penrice now finds Gassama, left-hand side, and it comes looking for Neil. It's going to come to Chukwani in there, and then Neil picks up out to Sterling, right-hand side, trying to get the better of his man Slama. Takes a nick on its way across the box. Rangers trying to keep the pressure on inside that penalty area. It's worked away though by the Jablonec defence. Better from Rangers in that build up as Penrice plays it to Gassama once more, left hand side, midway inside the Czech half. Back to Penrice and then back to Macania on the halfway line. Thinks about the square ball to Fernandes. Thinks better of it. Now it's Penrice once more, left hand side. Forward it goes to Chukwani. He's made the run down that left flank. Gassama makes a run beyond him. Comes back the way instead to Penrice. Still about 15 yards from the corner flag over on that far side. Into Gassama, he's taken out of play. It's going to come to Penrice. Is he allowed to continue? He is. Penrice goes for goal, saved by the keeper, and then thumped away before a Rangers player could get onto the rebound. Comes back here to Dragicevic, helps it out to the left-hand side. Gassama with the angle of the box, looking to try and get onto that right foot. They don't want to let him do that. Cuts back once more, sends it into the box. Naderi cuts it back, and it's off the post. The Rangers fans thought it was going to go in from Dragicevic, but unfortunately for him and for them, it comes back off the upright. As close as Rangers have come, but 25 minutes in, it's still 0-0.
Everything positive so far has came for Jedi Gassama, going 1v1, creating moments for Rangers. Chops it back onto his right foot. Little dink pass in. Ryan Naderi does ever so well to secure it, lay it off to Dragicevic, and me and 45,000 others in this stadium thought it was in. Tommy, you thought the same?
Yeah, I did. Just before that, Penrice had actually done really well getting a wee chop in and getting a shot away.
Here's Sterling, right hand side. Cross isn't a good one, though. It's onto the roof of the net. Poor from him. And the pressure is eased on that Jablonec back line, just as it looked like they were rocking for a minute or two, and Dragicevic coming as close as anyone has to the opening goal, hitting the post from pretty close range. And it's 0, Rangers 0, Jablonec 0.
I think he thought he'd scored as well, do you know that? And credit Naderi's role in that move as well, just having the vision to knock it off.
Here's Jawo up against Fernandez at the edge of the penalty, tries the back heel. It was rather telegraphed. Jokita got back there, intercepts, and then Sterling plays it off the big striker Jawo to win Rangers a throw in. 26 played, 0-0 here, 0-0 Hearts Rapid Vienna, 1-1 Motherwell Freiburg, and 0-0 Ghent Hibs, but Hibs have had a penalty saved in that first period.
Oh, you could just see Derek McInnes remonstrating at Emmanuel Fernandez to get tighter to the big Strajawo, but that's what happens when you get such a petulant yellow card after 10 minutes. You know, when you want to be front foot, you want to make contact, you want to be aggressive. When you're walking a tightrope for 80 minutes, it then makes you second guess yourself.
Rangers have it at the back. It's Penrice left hand side on the halfway line into the feet of Gassama, who they say is look bright. A lot of talk about Rangers needing maybe even a couple of left wingers, but Gassama's been playing in the last couple of games as if someone who's trying to make a point to say, well, maybe you don't need as many as two, maybe one. Finlay Curtis might have something to say about that as well. He's on the bench tonight, the young Scot. There's Macania and Fernandez play it square at the back. It's Macania who has it here, just left to centre. Forward it goes to Chukwani, left hand side, driving into the centre of the park, and then finds Neil to Sterling, and then forward for Jokita. Back with Sterling, midway inside the Jablonec half. Into Neil it goes once more, looking around him for options. It's Jokita right hand side here. He looks up himself. Back in field to Chukwani, who leaves it to Neil once more. Now Macania drives forward, looks like it's a heavy touch, but he gets out to Gassama, left hand side, swings it into the back post. Jokita can't reach that one behind for a goal kick, but the Rangers fans at least getting behind their side now because they see them playing with a little bit more purpose. But 28 minutes in, it's still Rangers 0, Jablonec 0.
Yes, a good driving run by Macania to step into the space, but Rangers' game plan for the remaining 50 minutes of this half should get the ball to Jedi Gassama as much as possible.
He's like the most dangerous player, no doubt about that, Andy.
Throw into Jablonec, left hand side, deep in their own territory, to be taken by Iri Slama. Gets it back and then tries to knock it forward. Sterling makes the challenge, but it breaks kindly there for Sedlacek in the middle of the park. Forward to Jawo, and Jablonec get another throw in, more or less on the halfway line, just in front of the technical area of Derek McInnes. He's right at the edge of that. He has been for most of the game, trying to get instructions on. He's calling for a foul throw, and I think he's got a point. I think it's the second from Slama that he's been able to get away with, and Derek McInnes still making the point to the fourth official about it. Here's Chukwani's won it back, and now Penrice coming forward down the left hand side. Can he get the ball into the box? He's won his side a corner instead, and you can hear the reaction from the fans in the last few minutes again as Rangers have just upped their game somewhat.
Good play from Penrice. He stepped in, won the ball, popped it off, got the return pass, drove forward, and then just as he's getting the cross in, it's deflected back for a corner. He's going to take the outswing up on his left foot.
Yeah, left-hand side here for Penrice in the 30th minute at Ibrox. No goals as yet. Can Rangers provide one here? It's Penrice looking for Fernandez. He couldn't make any contact. Said he was getting pulled a little bit, but none of the officials saw anything wrong, and Jablonec will try and counter here. Forward they come, but it's played off Jokota in the end, and it's going to be a throw-in right on the halfway line to the Czech visitors, and Derek McInnes just a little keepy up and gives it back to Slama, who will be monitored closely again by the Rangers manager. Again, the ball's not going right behind his head.
It's a weird thing. It's 100% a full throw. The ball's at no point going behind his head before he throws it.
Yeah, I mean,
he's getting Tyrannosaurus Rex arms.
Darren McInnes again remonstrating with the fourth official about it. I mean, some referees will penalise that, but for the most part, foul throws aren't really given unless they're, the most blatant in the world.
Well, they've been fairly blatant.
Yeah. Anyway, we continue just beyond the half hour as Jablonec try and come forward, and they've got a man over here. Can they? Well, it's a good challenge in the end from Fernandez. It was a rather desperate challenge because Jablonec somehow managed to have 3-on-2 there just momentarily, and they're keeping 4, sometimes 5 players quite well advanced, looking to penetrate that Rangers back line. Sterling picks up and then finds Neil. He's given the man on shout from about 20,000 Rangers fans, and then he's fouled anyway, and Rangers get the free kick just inside their own half. Quickly taken as Macania plays it forward to Gassama, who's as the guys are saying, looking Rangers' most threatening, inventive player. He's coming into pockets to pick up possession, not just staying out in the wing. Derry looked like he was fouled there. Tommy, you're shaking your head as if to say no, not enough in it, and the referee certainly agrees with you.
Well, he bounced up straight after he knew he wasn't getting the foul as well. He's got to do better for me. Use your body. Here's
Neil in the centre circle. 0-0 half-time between Ghent and Hibs. We'll get a report from Amy at some stage, but the missed penalty from Owen Elding could yet prove crucial. Sterling has to go back the way to his goalkeeper. Free kick though to Rangers. Let's get a quick update from Tynecastle. Brian McLaughlin.
Half an hour gone now, still 0-0 though, but that is down to the Hearts goalkeeper Borus. Indeed, as you come to me, it's a goal for Rapid Vienna, and it's the centre half Rao Yao who's scored a cross into the box. They've been warned 3 or 4 times. This time though, the Hearts goalkeeper could do absolutely nothing. A cross in, and the central defender for Rapid Vienna all alone, a straight header into the back of the net. We've gone half an hour here at Tynecastle. Hearts 0, Rapid Vienna 1.
Yeah, it's not good news for Scottish football fans generally, but certainly not for Hearts fans, as Naderi tries to put some pressure on at the back there, but to no avail, and it's picked up by Pavlovic just inside his own penalty area, out to the left-hand side to Slama, who's seen plenty of the ball in these early stages down the left-hand side, out for a Rangers throw-in, which is quickly taken. And Dragajevic helps it forward, looking for Jokota. Slama will beat him to it, and he'll go down in the most dramatic fashion. I think he's actually got the free kick there. I mean, it was going out for a goal kick in any case. But Jokota, who's such a powerful figure, brushing him to the ground there.
Yeah, he definitely trying to buy the free kick. The referee bought it right enough.
He did.
Taking it 10 yards from where it actually was conceded.
Yeah, I think this referee or the officials generally are sticklers for some of the laws of the game, as the ball's played up to Jao, who chests it down, and the referee this time blows up for the free kick. A little pull back there on Suchan, he reckoned. It wasn't a great deal in that, but it means Jablonec get a free kick in another decent position, this midway inside the Rangers half, just a few yards in from the left touch line. They've taken it short and back the way. I thought they might load the box there, but not on this occasion.
An awful waste from them there, really.
Yep.
They're back at their goalie.
Yeah, it does seem like a waste. 34 in here, Rangers 0, Jablonec 0, and Derek McInnes was saying pre-match wants to take a lead out to the Czech Republic next week, and probably will have to, the way Rangers have been going about their business so far. But well, they've hit the post, that's as near as they've come. Dragojevic with that effort. A couple others from Dragojevic and Gassama, but beyond that, nothing too much for the Jablonec goalkeeper to worry about. 1-1 at half-time at Fir Park between Motherwell and Freiburg. A very decent scoreline for the Steelmen, that one, but let's see what they can do in the second half, as Fernandes has it at the back for Rangers. 10 minutes to go in this first period at Ibrox. Fernandes just stepping forward, tracked by the striker Yawo. He's looking for options, and he's not pleased by, perhaps, is it a lack of movement again, or a lack of options?
Yeah, because you're right, Al, because the frustration's coming for the fans when Fernandes steps in, doesn't pick out a pass, but there's just a severe lack of options in front.
Sterling gets it in the box. That's not a bad ball. It's taken off the head of Dragojevic in there, and Jablonec managed to pick up possession, but it's going to break for Gassama, left hand side, tries to chop his way into the box, goes down. Some very optimistic claims for a penalty, but there's definitely nothing in that. Gassama will go and chase again to try and keep in. Chukwani preventing it, going out for a goal kick over there, and it's going to be a Rangers throw in instead. Nothing in that penalty claim there from the fans, more than
was it even in the box?
I'm not even sure now.
I don't think it was, but I mean, no, I think he tried to chop and he knew that the player was on him instantly, so just threw himself to the ground. The referee didn't bat.
Yeah, I think correctly on that occasion. 36 played, Rangers nil, Jablonec nil. Rangers victory at the weekend, their first of the season.
I think the thing is, for Rangers, right, they've not performed well here in, what are we in, 36 minutes, and this team are nowhere near as good as Jagiellonia, and I'm not saying Jagiellonia were brilliant, you know, in terms of when they're on the ball, the opposition team, but Rangers themselves really need to up their game.
Rangers just, they don't, apart from Gassama on the ball just now, you would say he was a potential difference maker. Beyond that, I'm not sure they've really got enough of those players. Jokita has been peripheral and he's given the ball away there as he tried to link with Dragojevic, who's been industrious, but Fernandes taking a chance there, but it's good play, what to say in the end, chesting it down and getting it back to his goalkeeper. And then it's played out to Macania. We've got 8 minutes left in this first period, plus any stoppage time. As Ibrox sits and waits for some inspiration to get behind. Nadiri, they close down, he'll get the free kick this time on the halfway line. Again, it's quickly taken by Sterling to Fernandes. Out to Penrice on the left-hand side. Comes back to Macania, just inside his own half. He clips it forward, looking for Nadiri. Tries to get something on it, but he's closely marshalled there. And more disgruntlement from the Rangers fans. Just lacks finesse, the build-up there. No craft to it. Just hopeful balls forward. And Jablonec trying something similar. Yawo able to hold this up, left-hand side, well challenged by Fernandes. Dragojevic squeezes it inside, looking for Neil, who goes down. He's maybe a little bit fortunate to get that free kick. And Jablonec's manager out there, certainly not particularly happy. Lubos Kozel, as Rangers have it left-hand side, back into Macania, then square for Fernandes. So we're going to get a goal in this first period. Rangers going to be able to find the inspiration that's been somewhat lacking. Are they missing Raskan out there, would you say, Andy?
I don't think it's anything to do with personnel, Al, to be honest with you. I've said that a couple of times, but for me it's just a severe lack of option anytime anybody's on the ball.
Here's Sterling, right hand side of the box, trying to dig out a cross. He's done so. It's a little bit deep. It's headed away by Chanarishvili out to the left hand side, out for a throw in to Rangers, taken into the chest of Chukwani, trying to link there with Gassama. Can't hold on to it though, and it's just lashed up towards the halfway line. Macania under no pressure at all, be able to turn with the ball and play it into Fernandes. 39 gone. Rangers nil, Jablonec nil in this Conference League playoff first leg. A match you feel that Rangers really have to take a victory from to take into that second leg. Jokita back the way to Fernandez. As you were saying earlier, Andy, I mean, Celtic are the barometer at the moment, and you look at that performance from Celtic last night against a much better team who threatened a lot themselves, but some of the quality that Celtic showed, it's in stark contrast to what we're seeing for the most part from Rangers.
Yeah, Celtic play with a real pace, a real purpose, fluidity in their movement, people running in behind, underlaps, overlaps. Rangers at the minute, it's all very rigid, and ultimately it's leading to straight balls with pressure coming from behind. It's either a turnover of possession or a moment of individual brilliance.
Gassama slides it forward, looks for Chukwani. He's done well, he's on the byline now, left hand side, tries to get it into the middle. Naderi on the stretch, can't reach it. Frustration for him, frustration for the Rangers fans. And Jablonec will try and counter here. Across comes Fernandez, knocks it out of play. Came off Jablonec's player last, and it'll be a Rangers throw in again. It's a half chance for Rangers. Should it have been more?
I think he's at full stretch, Naderi. I mean, Chukwani does well to force it across the face of the goal. It's only a couple of yards out. The goalkeeper should probably have come for it, but then he sneaks past the first man, and Naderi's in the middle of the sixth. Full stretch, just could not get a toe to it. He must have been inches away from it, and then it slides harmlessly past.
Here's Jokita, who's not really been involved. The Rangers' most dangerous attacks have come down the left-hand side.
He looks frustrated, there's Jokita.
Back the way to Pandur, who's not been overly taxed himself, but you could certainly say the same for Jan Hanush in the opposition goal. Hasn't had a save to make. He has watched the ball bounce off his post, but apart from that, here's Sterling, right hand side. I wonder if he might be replaced at half time. Not that he's played particularly badly, but Nero Jakovic is I think considered to be a more attacking fullback on that right hand side. Here's Penrice on the left, swinging it in, headed away via
it's just so predictable. It's so predictable, Alan. I think that's the problem. Like, you know, Jablonec are set up and they're not being asked to move it out their defensive positions too much. All right, the midfield are shuffling over, but the defence haven't been really moved. And from that point of view, the lack of movement on the opposite side from Rangers just makes it easy for it to defend.
Penrice into Gassama, just at the edge of the box, trying to find room, but it's a good challenge, comes in on him. Neil wins it back, but doesn't fall to a Rangers player, and Jablonec get it up to the halfway line, and Yawo picks up, and now the counter could be on here as Sedlacek picks up, then he leaves it to Suchan, and now they come forward down the right hand side. It's Chanarishvili sliding it forward, looking for Sedlacek once more, out for a throw over in the far side. 2.5 left until the interval, as Jablonec, who started the game the brighter, the Rangers have come more into it, but still you wouldn't dismiss the likelihood of Jablonec being able to penetrate this Rangers defence, as Jokita plays it off Polydar and buys the throw in, taken by Sterling for Dragicevic, still inside his own half, pokes it back the way to Makani. He was caught there, but Makanya does well and gets out to the left hand side, but Gassama can't catch it. He was just too heavy with the pass, as Rangers thought they had the advantage. And is the referee? He's not going to bring it back for a free kick here, is he?
No, I don't think so. Just a bad treatment.
Check the player who's stayed down. Both the Jablonec player and Dragicevic seem to be hurt in that collision, as Rangers threatened to break, but the advantage was played, and Makanya couldn't find the pass out to Gassama, and it will just be a throw-in in the end to the visitors with about 90 seconds remaining in what's been a pretty disappointing first half as a spectacle, and certainly from Rangers' point of view, as another foul throw taken this time over on the far side, so it's not just Slama who's guilty of it, but that was let go as well. That's sliced out of play. It'll be a Rangers throw in just inside the Jablonec's half, taken into or aimed at Chukwani from Sterling. It gave him a lot to do there, Chukwani on the stretch, and he's lost possession, and then Sterling fouls Jawo, who goes down, and Jablonec get the free kick, and that all came from a kind of forced throw-in from Sterling. You can't just throw it wildly into the middle of the park when there's so many bodies in there.
Yeah, it's poor. I think Derek McInnes was remonstrating for Rangers to play quicker and get the ball back in play, but it wasn't set up. Ultimately, it leads to a turnover of possession. I've got to say, the antics of the Jablonec players anytime they're touched is honestly unbelievable.
Into the final minute of the 45, fourth official down there with the board ready to signal it if there's any added on time as Jablonec take the free kick up towards the edge of the Rangers box. Naderi's back there to head it clear. Gassama will just keep it in on that left touchline and try and mount a counter-attack. It's a poor ball though, and Dragicevic can't get there, and Sedlacek will, and he's bounding forward, and then Jabo with a heavy touch allows Macania to step across him, but he's knocked out for a corner as we get 2 minutes added on at the end here. Macania looked in charge of that situation and then just knocked it over the goal line himself, and Jablonec will have a corner here, and well, you can just imagine the mood around Ibrox if this were to end up in the back of the net in first half stoppage time. Not in any great rush to go across and take this corner, incidentally, as the referee now tells them to get out and get a move on. It's Slama who's going to go across from left to right to swing this in left-footed from the right-hand side. Rangers have to hold firm here. They certainly can't afford to go a goal down. As it comes into the near post, it's Dragicevic who gets first contact on it, but Rangers haven't got it fully clear, and it's come back across the goal, and it's knocked wide in the end, but the flag is up already to signal that it had gone out for a goal kick prior to that, but nonetheless Jabo should have knocked that into the back of the net.
I'm not sure what the linesman's flag's for.
I think it's to say it was out of play.
Oh, do you think it had gone over the line?
Well, that's what he's signalling.
Right,
definitely.
okay.
Yeah.
Right, well spotted.
Anyway, but Jabo should have tucked it away and then argued about whether it was in or out of play afterwards. But here come Rangers then in stoppage time. And Neil to his left for Macania. Might just be a time enough for one last attack here. Yokota has gone into a central area, linking with Gassama. It's a poor ball forward, looking for Naderi, but never in any danger of getting there, and the flag's up on this near side, and it'll be an offside against Naderi, I think. There certainly will be a free kick to Jablonec. Well, it's not going to be too much to enthuse about at half-time in this one for you guys, but yeah, it's been a pretty humdrum performance from Rangers as the referee checks his watch, and
it's 3 or 4 times now, well, because of the lack of movement in front, Fernandez on Macania have actually stepped into the pressure, and I actually think it's working to an extent, because that's one way I try to beat the line.
Well, boos ring round Ibrox, not for the first time in recent weeks and months, as the half-time whistle sounds. As I say, nothing really to shout about for the home fans, and the closest they came to a goal in that half was Vanja Dragicevic shot from close range that came back off the upright. He'd sent an earlier effort from distance just wide. Gassama had a drive that was saved by the goalkeeper. Jablonec have looked tidy enough without overly threatening the Rangers goal, but equally Rangers haven't done enough themselves to find a way to break the deadlock, and that's why at half-time in this Conference League playoff first leg, it is Rangers 0, Jablonec 0.
Following Scotland's teams in Europe, live on Sports Sound.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
This Saturday show is filled with very interesting people every Saturday morning.
Journalists, comedians and special guests in the studio to dissect the week's news. Very interesting.
Athletes and sports pundits to preview the weekend's sporting fixtures. Well, they sound interesting.
And of course you, the real VIPs, listening as you go about your Saturday morning and sending us in some very interesting messages.
I thought you meant like me, like I was interesting.
You're a different kind of interesting though, Stephen. You're more like of international interest in medical science kind of interesting.
Oh, thanks very much, Amy. Thanks.
This Saturday show with Amy Irons and Stephen Mill. Saturday at 9 a.m. on BBC Radio Scotland and Sounds.
But right now you are listening to Sports Sound for Europa Conference League playoff ties in progress. 0-0 at Ibrox at half-time. We're not far, the second half's kicking off at Fir Park and in Ghent, so we'll take the time now to check in on our reporters there. First off, Kerdine Idsan, who is watching Motherwell against Freiburg.
Motherwell 1, Freiburg 1 at half-time, and a warm round of applause met the Motherwell players on that half-time whistle as the home fans acknowledged the fright the Steel Men gave last season's Europa League runners-up. This place was absolutely rocking in the opening couple of minutes when Regan Charles Cook nudged Emmanuel Longello's perfect cross into the bottom corner of a stunned Mio Backhouse's net. Freiburg hadn't yet woken up from their pre-season slumbers. It didn't take them all that long though, and they were soon peppering the opposite goal with dangerous looking shots. Alex Paulsen had to make good stops from Yuto Suzuki, Igor Matanovic and Philip Troy, but he couldn't do anything about the visitors' equaliser. The former German international Matthias Ginter, 51 caps for Die Mannschaft, glancing in Derry Sherhant's perfect cross, the winger having been an absolute nuisance down the Motherwell right for the whole half. Well held on to their early lead for the full 26 minutes, but the second 45 could be a long old shift, with Freiburg looking more and more like the European heavyweights they are with every passing minute. Motherwell, you fancy, need another goal to give themselves something to hold on to. We have just kicked off in the second half.
Thanks, Kerdine, and indeed the second half has kicked off in Belgium. Ghent versus Hibernian. Let's catch up with Amy.
It sure has, David. We're about 3 minutes into the second half here, and Ghent have just been awarded a free kick in a fairly dangerous position. But before they take that, I'll run you through what happened in that first half. A couple of hours ago, I do think that many folks of a Hibs persuasion would have taken it 0-0 as it was at half-time. But given Owen Eldon was offered an opportunity from the penalty spot after 15 minutes, they will surely have a sense of what if. Warren O'Hara was clattered in the box, and the impressive Eldon was quick to take the ball. There was no chance really for Josh Campbell. I've seen a few comments thinking that he perhaps should have taken it given he scored at Ibrox not so long ago, but it was Eldon. He went low to Ghent goalkeeper Davy Roof's right, but the home goalkeeper got a big hand to it to parry it away to safety. That has really been all for Hibs so far. Ghent were dominant in possession in that first half, but without truly troubling Raphael Salinger in the Hibs goal. A real lack of quality, in truth be told, throughout, but it will suit Hibs, who then crucially do have that home leg next week. We are 49 minutes in and it remains 0-0.
Thanks very much, Amy. More to come from Amy as the evening develops. Let's head now to Tynecastle. Remember, Hearts and Rapid Vienna on the same timeline as Rangers versus Jablonec. Let's hear from Brian.
It's Harmidlode 0, Rapid Vienna 1, and a deserved lead for the Austrians. Have been absolutely outstanding, particularly in the first half. There are some warning shots for Hearts early on. Tony Adamson, who scored 4 goals at the weekend, was clean through in goal. A beautiful save though, a terrific save by Bo Roos. And again, the Hearts defence were caught out when the full-backs then combined from one side to the other. The right full-back then crossed the ball into the back of the 6-yard box where the left back was waiting. Horan it was, he ghosted in Ben Bolly it was, and he looked certain to score, but once again Roos at full stretch to keep the Hearts goal intact, but there was nothing he could do in the half-hour mark. It was a short corner played by the Austrians, and Roy Yu eventually left all alone about 6 yards out to go and gnawed the ball into the back of the net. He's 6'5". He simply cannot afford a space for a player like that inside the 6-yard box. But Hearts, they finished the half really well. Josh McPake had an effort, a low shot that was well saved by Heddle. Bragg had a shot from distance just wide of goal, and then just in the half-time whistle, Reno had a shot that again it was close to the opponent's goal. But Rapid Vienna, they'll go in there, they'll be content. Hearts have grown into the game. They really do need to have a goal though in the second half to try and have some sort of chance next week in Austria. Half-time here at Tynecastle in front of a crowd of 18,112. Armidlode 0, Rapid Vienna 1.
Thanks, Brian. Just to recap, folks, Rangers 0, Jablonec 0, Motherwell 1, Freiburg 1, Ghent 0, Hibs 0, and as Brian said there, Hearts 0, Rapid Vienna 1. So just the one goal for a Scottish team. Tom English, if you're with us, it came after 2 minutes and we haven't had an end since then. Applause though at Fir Park for Motherwell. Jeers at Ibrox.
Yeah, deserved boos for Rangers. I wonder how many times Rangers have been booed off this season already. too many times. I thought they were really poor first half. It's exactly as the lads were saying. A player in possession looks up and all he's got is Rangers players looking back at him. There's no movement, there's no intricacy, there's nobody making runs, there's no stretching of the Jablonec defence, no confusion in the Jablonec defence. It's going to easy defend against this. Rangers are just hoping for a moment, as the lads are saying, a moment of brilliance from Gassama, or something from Penrice, who's been bright as well. Not many of them have, but it's just huff and puff. There's no discernible pattern to Rangers. It's just kind of hoping that something happens, rather than really being clever and pulling Jablonec this way and that, and creating space. There's no space out there. It's easy for the visitors at the moment. Yeah, they're soaking up a lot of pressure, but Rangers are not exactly tormenting their goalkeeper.
Well, I was wondering.
It's hard to watch. It's dreadful stuff.
I was wondering, Stephen Thompson, before the match, when Derek McInnes was speaking to Jane, he said we want to play this game at Rangers' pace. Is that the pace they want to play it at, or are they not capable of upping it? And in your words, upping their game?
Well, it's a different type of game from Sunday's game, where they were able to attack and be a bit more free-flowing, because St Mirren were actually quite open in that game. Jablonec are very comfortable in a shape and are working hard to negate Rangers, but that's not what the problem is. I mean, how many times as a Rangers player are you going to come up against defences that do that? And that's when you need game changers to go and make a difference, but you also need far better movement off the ball. And Fernandes has been getting it tight from behind us in the stand when he's been on the ball, and I've got to say I really sympathise with him, because he's lifting his head, he can't see a pass, and ultimately he'll maybe take another touch, turn out and play it back to Macania, or play a safe pass, but there's not enough options in front of him, so he's either then got to force a risky pass, which could then be a giveaway, and Jablonec are on the counter. So ultimately what he's doing is probably the right thing, because when he lifts his head and he looks in front of him, Rangers can say that they're being attacking because they've got four players playing really high up the pitch, basically on the back four of Jablonec. But if you're all just standing doing nothing, you're statues, and ultimately you're marked. So it doesn't matter that you've got bodies forward or men up the pitch, because ultimately you're not doing anything if you're not on the move. And that has been the case right throughout that half, and it's been a poor watch. I mean, I said during commentary that I don't think Jablonec are anything like as good as Jagiellonia were, and I don't know if that's how much of a. Can I tell you,
Tom? Jagiellonia have won their Europa League playoff first leg tie against Iberia in 1999. Jagiellonia beat them 4-0.
Oh, there you go. Well, I mean, I don't know how good the opposition they're playing are, but this team here haven't really got any quality going forward, which thankfully, for Rangers' point of view, means that they've not really had to defend too strenuously. But the longer Rangers play like this, you never know, a team can get a wee break. It happens all the time. I was interested, Andy, when I think Al asked you, if Rangers could change things by changing personnel, and you didn't seem to think that would change things in any way. I found that quite interesting.
Well, for me at this moment in time, Rangers just need an individual moments of brilliant, because I don't think a goal's coming through design. But just to follow on what the guys have said, it's been a really, really tough watch. We're so early on in the season, but it's been the poorest 45 minutes of football I've watched. In fact, the most entertaining part of my day so far has been watching Al Lamont eat an apple at half time.
You want to see him eat a peach?
Nobody should be subjected to that.
Hopefully he adds in a peach before the second half kicks off. But it's been a dreadful watch. It really has. And like Tomo says, Jablonec don't look as if they're up to much in terms of a forward threat either. And I suppose you can look at that in a positive for Rangers sense. But I actually feel that any time Jablonec has ventured forward, it looks like Rangers' most opportune chance to create a chance, if that makes sense. Because as soon as Jablonec are sitting in a shape and almost occupying areas, Rangers just don't look as if they're going to break through them, unless Jedi Gassama gets on the ball, goes 1v1 and creates a moment on his own. but certainly by design. I'd love to give you more in-depth analysis of how Rangers are going to create a chance, what they can do better to create a chance. But at this moment in time, it just looks as if they're relying on somebody to create a moment for them, or Jablonec to make a mistake.
Tom, Al described it as a humdrum performance from Rangers. I'm sensing that you guys all agree with that, but Andy sounds fairly despondent there, that it's almost as if there's nothing Derek McInnes can do to change things.
I was afraid you were going to come back to me, DC, because I've kind of exhausted my opinions on this. Just because there's not a lot to say, because there's not a lot going on from Rangers. Outside of Kasama, who's trying really hard, and Penrice, who's been good down that side. The rest of them, they're just pedestrian. They're running about, but there's no guile about what they're doing. And you got to wonder about Derek McInnes. I mean, he sent this team out, and they're just kind of hoping for the best. They're hoping that hard endeavour and pressure and running, something's going to fall for them. Something's going to bounce off someone's backside and into the path of Nadiri, and he's going to tuck it away. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting from this Rangers team. I mean, Andy mentioned the word design, and that's the right word. There's nothing happening by design. You look at Celtic last night, they manipulated that defence. They pulled it in directions, they pulled it into places where they didn't want to be, and then they struck. And they had the quality, they had the accuracy, they had the speed of thought and speed of movement to cut them open. And Rangers have none of that. You see, absolutely none of that.
You guys' analytical skills are obviously greater and more forensic than mine, because I'm watching it on TV here, and I'm just, every time I look up, Rangers are going forward and they've had a couple of chances, hit the post, goalkeeper's made a hash of a shot early on, and I'm thinking, it's probably a matter of time before Rangers score, but obviously my glass is half full and you three are supping of the half-empty
game
ale.
Of football, DC, and you've just mentioned two chances. And one of them was the goalie making a hash of it. So
yeah.
That's the two chances over the course of 45 minutes. It's not exactly great, is it?
Your glass might be half full, DC, but I'm wondering what's in it.
Very good. No one's put 40 grand behind the bar in the canteen in here, that's for sure. So Stephen Thompson, do you think Derek McInnes will change things at half-time then? He mentioned they were nursing Nico Raskan through an ankle injury. I think he might be persuaded to take to the field. Do they need him to come on for a bit of guile?
I'm not sure whether bringing Raskin on, as Andy said during commentary, is going to affect too much of the way that Rangers are playing. I'm just looking now as they come back out onto the pitch to see if there's anybody there that hasn't. Looks like the same lineup. I mean, I think Derek's, in a few games now he's made changes at half-time. They're 0-0 here. I would like to think that he's had a half-time team talk with them, and it's going to inspire them to be a wee bit different in this second half. But whether or not he looks to his bench, I'd imagine it'll be happening quickly if it remains the same sort of standard of football as we saw in the first half. Within 5-10 minutes he'll be looking to make changes, whether that's personnel or whether it's tactical information remains to be seen.
You wouldn't fancy them, Andy Halliday, taking a 0-0 to the Czech Republic for the second leg and coming through?
No, I think they need to take a positive result tonight. So it'll be interesting what Derek McInnes' coaching staff, what message they've relayed at half-time, but yeah, there needs to be a lot more, and that comes from not just individuals, that comes for the team. Running in behind, creating patterns of play, rotations, try and build your way through the final third, but at this moment in time there's been none of that.
Well, breaking news, Al Lamit's finished his apple and he's ready to go for the second half.
Yeah, and we're back underway, and it's launched straight out of play over on the far side by Jablonec, so it'll be a Rangers throw in, but Rangers certainly need to up their performance in the second half if they're to get themselves on the score sheet, as Sterling comes under a bit of pressure there from Polydar, being forced back the way towards his own goal line. Polydar still with him, he turns and eventually knocks it down that right wing, and Nadiri's being grappled to the ground, and Rangers get themselves a free kick about 10 yards inside their own half, which is quickly taken. No changes for either side at the interval, so it's as you were. Rangers with Pandur in goal, Sterling, Fernandes, Macania and Penrice. Dan Neil anchoring the midfield with Dragicevic and Chukwani ahead of him. Jokota and Gassama on the flanks, and Nadiri through the middle. Big switch out to the right hand side too. Jokota midway inside the Jablonec half, now running into the penalty area from that right flank. Just touches it back to Sterling, stands it up. Gassama was in there, comes back to Penrice, he just blasts it goalwards, and the flag goes up in the end. Might have even been for Gassama in the first instance when the ball was played into the box. Again, it comes to nothing. A bit of purpose though about that Rangers attack. A minute and a half gone in this second period though, and still no goals.
And already better, because as soon as Jedi Gassama picks up the ball, James Penrice is on his bike, he's making a run forward, and then that creates the space inside the pitch for Jedi Gassama. Switch of play, ball comes on the box, and it ultimately gets cleared. But much better in terms of forward runners, a bit of movement at least for the attacking sense.
Rangers claiming for a handball there by the Czech captain Tekijaski. Nothing given though. Did look like it came off his arm as he brought the ball under control. Rangers have it back anyway. It's Fernandes flighting it long. The header there made by Seridla. Chukwani picks up possession. Gassama tries to squeeze it through a gap that didn't really exist. Then he's given it away in the middle of the park, straight to Nevila, but good play from Jokota to win it back up to the edge of the box. Slips it through for Nadiri, goes down. The referee says no. Ball was taken, and Jablonec bring it forward and will try and counter themselves here, as Rangers fans certainly claimed for a penalty. It's Jablonec coming down the right hand side through Jawo. Macanya's with him, he sticks the toe in and knocks out for a throw in this near side. We are in operation, and they'll be just having a quick check of that. The referee just saying, just hold on a second, we'll have a view on it. Either of you guys think it was much of a, well, hold on a second, because there's a penalty at Fir Park, so let's hear about that. Gerardine.
Yes, and it's to Freiburg as well. It was Yannick Engelhardt who was brought down in the box. I thought he tripped himself up, and maybe VAR's having a look at that just now. But the equalising goal scorer Matthias Ginter, the former German international, it's placing the ball on the penalty spot right now. It's Motherwell 1, Freiburg 1. We've played 61.5 minutes, but it's a real chance for last season's Europa League runners-up to put themselves in the box seat in this tie. We're still waiting for the referee just to get all of the players outside the box, as Ginter now prepares to take this penalty kick. Whistles round 3 of the stands at Fir Park as the home fans try and put him off. The blonde-haired former German international, 51 caps for Die Mannschaft, is about to take a penalty kick which could deflate Motherwell's hopes in this tie overall. Still the referee waits to give permission to take the kick. Ginter's looking at him, wanting to get on with it, as are we all. And here he comes up now. Ginter, again, just waiting for the referee. And we've had a similar kind of delay earlier on when the Freiburg equalising goal went in. We're still waiting for the referee to allow the penalty kick to be taken. So apologies here, Al. The referee's now pointing to his ear, so I'm going to hand back to you just in case something happens at your end, because we're still waiting. The referee's now writing something in his notebook. I'm assuming that there's nothing great going on with you, so we'll just, as the Motherwell fans try and rally their side and try and put the German off. The referee now looks like he might be allowed to...
It must be a goal. It's Nadiri with a goal for Rangers. Wonderfully worked move for the very first time. Flighted to the back post, nodded back across goal by Jokota, and Nadiri was just a few yards out to knock it into the back of the net. And after 5 minutes, it's Rangers 1, Jablonec 0. Back to you, Gerardine.
Well, incredibly, Al, after a wait of about 2 or 3 minutes, the referee has now come over to the monitor to check on VAR. It looked for all the world like he was about to give Ginter the sign to take the penalty. He was staring at the referee for a good couple of minutes. Now the referee has just disappeared underneath me here in the main stand to have a look at the monitor. It's Radu Petrescu of Romania. I think there's been some kind of communication problem with VAR, because we had an eternal wait for the Freiburg equaliser to be given. Now he is... What's he given now? there was a cheer there that looked like he had cancelled the penalty, but no, a red card has come out. Moorman has been sent off, so he must have given the penalty. No one around here knows what's going on. Finally, Ginter now is going to put the ball down. Well, the referee made a sign as though to say the penalty's been cancelled, but no, Moorman's been sent off for the foul on Engelhardt. Freiburg do have a penalty, one each here at Fir Park. Finally, Matthias Ginter, who got the equaliser for Freiburg, steps up, right-footed, scores into the bottom right-hand corner. Motherwell 1, Freiburg 2. A good night for Matthias Ginter. His second goal from the penalty spot. The home fans boo the referee and the VAR eternity that it took. However, the goal has gone in and counted. Motherwell 1, Freiburg 2.
Okay, thanks, Kerdine. Jablonec have got a corner kick as they look for an equaliser here. Left-hand side, it's swung into the penalty area, headed away by Dragojevic. We'll get the guy's thoughts on the goal. It was scored about half an hour ago in a minute. As it's launched back forward down the left-hand side. Offside flag is up, so Stephen Thompson and Andy Halliday, the Rangers goal. It's a good one, wasn't it?
It was the best move in the match. No, it's worked down that left-hand side. Jedi Gassama, another runner forward. No, we bemoaned about the lack of runners in the first half. It's a run forward for Jedi Gassama. He picks it up, checks back on his right foot, sets Dan Neil, and Yokota's movement as soon as Dan Neil picks his spot, he gets his eyes up, whips a lovely delivery into the back post. Yokota cuts it back, and Ryan Nadiri's there to prod it into an empty net, and he just got it into the net. I thought he'd put it over the bar, Andy, I have to say. Yokota's involvement was brilliant. The pass from Daniel, excellent, but Yokota had the presence of mind to just knock it back across the face of goal. And I was going to say Nadiri couldn't miss. Let's just say he's wanting to put it in the top corner.
Here come Rangers down the left-hand side, leading by a goal to nil. It's Gassama. Plays it square for Sterling, midway inside the Jablonec half. Now it's Yokota, right-hand side. Little step over, he goes down, he's waved onto his feet again from the referee. Nothing doing. I think he stumbled. Might have been a little bit of contact, probably not enough to send him to the ground, but the referee certainly didn't think so. So it's a goal kick, 53 minutes in now, and the mood here at Ibrox is certainly lifted somewhat after that Ryan Nadiri goal, which is his second of the season, got his first the weekend, as Neil plays it for Yokota. Forward it goes in the left channel. Nadiri will chase, but he's beaten to it. And Jablonec clear the lines up towards the halfway line. Macania out to the left-hand side for Penrice. He gets it down to Neil. He's lost it though. And Jablonec will try and come forwards here, but it's been given away by Polidar to Dragojevic. Now Yokota in a central area. Forward for Chukwani, out to the left for Gassama, up to the angle of the box. Again wants to come on that right foot. He's got Penrice on the overlap. Here it is, Penrice cuts it back, and it's knocked over the crossbar by the late arriving Dragojevic, but it's definitely better from Rangers. 54 in, Rangers 1, Jablonec 0.
Yeah, Jablonec give away poor possession in Rangers half, and they spring into attack quickly, which is what they've done relatively well throughout the game. Yokota plays it into Chukwani, who whips out in the left-hand side, and it's been this left-hand side that's been Rangers' most dangerous area all night long. Gassama picks up the ball, and Penrice again with a marauding run down that left-hand side, picks out Dragojevic, just doesn't quite get the contact, ends up over the bar.
Fernandez on the defensive, plays it off Nebila, and it will be a Rangers throw-in. Let's get a quick update from Belgium. Ghent against Hibs, Amy Canavan.
It should really be 1-0 Ghent. Al, just as you've come to me there, former Falkirk man Kyril Wilson, if you remember him, he's just off the bench for Ghent. A ball's been cut, oh my goodness, I'm just watching a replay of it. Ball's cut across the face of goal. He has an open goal waiting for him, and he just can't get his feet. They're all tangled up, and he misses the opportunity. He's got his hands on his head. The home supporters cannot believe it. Huge opportunity for Ghent, and my goodness, Hibs have survived a scare there. 70 minutes in, 0-0.
Thanks, Amy. Yokota has it for Rangers in the midfield, gets it back from Neil, lays it back to Dragojevic, now Nadiri, right-hand side, the goal scorer, forward to Chukwani, right-hand side, squeezes it back through for Nadiri, right-hand side of the box, can he pick out Gassama over the crossbar from 3 yards out? Gassama holds his head in his hands. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. It was absolutely blasted into him, but
you're not getting any benefits of it now.
But I was going to say, but you should still be scoring.
Oh, come on. Yeah, there's no benefit of doubt there.
No? Okay.
He's 2 yards out. Just get your foot over the ball. Any type of contact, bad contact even, puts it in the back of the net. He catches it flush, lifts his body back, puts it a foot over the bar. It's an absolute sitter, but brilliant play from Rangers down the right hand side. Yokota and Naderi involved, and when the ball gets flashed across the face, you cannot miss that type of opportunity.
Andy, are you going to be just as harsh?
I'm in between these because listen, he should score. There's no doubt about it. I just don't know if Naderi needs to put that much power, that much height on the ball in. But listen, Jedi Gassama should still score.
No, I agree with that, absolutely.
And again, it's got to be said, Rangers look their most dangerous when Jablonec have the ball. Anytime they give the ball away, they just spring into attack.
Here they come. Yokota right hand side into the box. Just couldn't take the ball with him in the end. It was dispossessed by Tekiyaski, but again, it's better from Rangers. Sterling getting involved there, bursting forward, and looks like Jablonec are going to go to the bench pretty soon because the second half has been all Rangers, you would have to say.
Yeah, they've definitely upped the tempo, and they're looking far more dangerous. To go back to the chance, I would agree with you if he hadn't made full contact with the side of his boot. If it's difficult for him and he's having to manipulate his body, he makes flush contact with the side of his boot. So,
goal at Tynecastle, Brian McLaughlin.
It's a goal for Hearts, Hal. They're at level on terms. Hearts 1, Rapid Vienna 1. 10 minutes into the second half. And it's Josh McPake on target, slipped through by the number 11 Pierre Landry Cabore, who looks like that was his last touch of the game. He's been replaced by James Wilson, but the shot by McPake deflected beyond the Rapid goalkeeper into the back of the net. It's now Hearts 1, Rapid Vienna 1.
Good stuff, thanks Brian. 1-0 here to Rangers, 58 minutes almost played. So Hearts back in level terms. Genk 0, Hibs 0 still, and Motherwell trailing now by 2-1 and down to 10 men, with Moorman having been dismissed when that penalty was awarded. Here come Jablonec's left-hand side, an opportunity for them to try and get back level themselves. It's well defended, and Gassama just knocked it out of play. He's not having the best of second halves, having been lively. That's another foul throw-in. I mean, that is incredible. That's about 5, not only left and right wing backs.
I'm actually laughing because it's unbelievable that the referee, the linesman, the fourth official, nobody's picking up on it.
I was furious about it.
I mean, I just think that, you know, it's not the most difficult thing to learn. Here come Jablonec forward, Pandur to the edge of his box to cut out the through ball, and it remains 1-0 Rangers here.
Just to follow up on Phil throw count, it's different players as well. It's not as if it's just a one player. Like, nobody can take a throw in.
Fernandez and then Neil. Penrice trying to find Neil again, but that's cut out, and forward will come Jablonec. Back goes Neil to win possession back. He's done well there, and Chukwani, he almost looked like he was delaying because he thought the free kick was going to be given, and Sushan has stayed down, but Rangers just need to get on with it as Sterling fires it forward. Just too much on that for Yokota. Not a bad idea from Sterling, just too much on the pass as the changes are about to be made by the visitors. As on will come Philippe Zorvan and Hugo Al, AHL, as Fernandez tries to battle away there. He's won the throw-in actually off Jawo. It's been an interesting battle over the course of the night. So Al and Zorvan about to come on. Not quite yet. The throw-in's been taken as Jablonec look for a way. Back still on the tyre. Certainly as Neil squeezes a pass through there for Dragicevic out to the right hand side. Yokota just stretches to keep it in play and brings it forward. Knocks it back here to Sterling. Yokota once more infield to Chukwani. Bounces it back to Yokota, who plays it into the centre circle for Makanya. He's got a bit of space to move into here, and then he gets out to the left hand side for Gassama. Gassama about 20 yards from the byline. Penrice gives him a run, tries to squeeze it through for him, but it's good covering and Penrice will be penalised for a shove in the back. It was Chanarishvili who got back there, read the pass from Gassama, and just shepherded it out, and it will be a free kick to the visitors as these changes are made. Polydar is going to be replaced by Hugo Al, and the other player coming off is Jan Sushan. He'll be replaced by Philippe Zorvan, so double change for the visitors as they look to try and get back into the game here this evening, trailing by a goal to nil, 61 on the clock, and they'll have a free kick to be taken by their goalkeeper here, Jan Hanush. Launches it up towards the halfway line. Penrice returns it into Yokota, helps it on first time. Naderi here, poor first touch from the German, and Sarlacek looks it out to the left hand side to his central midfield partner Nabila, and now Slama over on that far side. Jablonec on the halfway line now. There's one of the substitutes getting on the ball out to the right hand side. It comes to Seridla into Yawo at the edge of the penalty area. Fernandez trying to stick close to him, comes back to the edge of the box. Good foot in there from Macania as it was dinked through by Zorvan, but Macania prevented it getting through to the striker. Otherwise that could have been a real problem for Rangers. Jablonec having a decent spell this last couple of minutes. Here they come again, low ball in, just takes a little deflection into the path of Chukwani, fortunately for Rangers, and now they'll try and come forward. Chukwani once more from Dragojevic, better again from Rangers as they try and counter. Yokota goes back the way to Sterling, and now it's back with Fernandez once more. 63 played almost. Rangers leading by a goal to nil. It's down the left hand side for Gassama. Running it is the right back here, then tries to slip it through for Chukwani. Too much on it again, and it's an easy take for the goalkeeper under no pressure. Hanush.
Yeah, ultimately it's not a great way to pass for Jedi Gassama, but I think Chukwani has to make that run earlier. I think he does ever so well to stand up the full-back and drive at him, and for me, as soon as the centre-half vacates the space, I think Chukwani has to make that movement earlier. No, it's not a great way to pass, as I said initially, but no, it's been much more positive for Rangers this.
You see what happens though when he drives in the pitch and commits a player that then has to come out of position to go to him. It creates space.
Chukwani out to Gassama, left hand side. Penrice bombing forward to try and catch up with him. It's still Gassama into the box. He comes. His shot's charged down. He makes. Well, that was never a free kick. That's an incredible decision from the referee. Gassama tried to make the challenge. There's been another goal at Tynecastle. Brian McLaughlin.
And it's another goal for Hearts, and what a goal it was. Substitute James Wilson fully 30 yards out into the top left-hand corner of the goalkeeper's goal. The keeper had absolutely no chance. Hearts now in control here. They've turned it around. Hearts 2, Rapid Vienna 1.
Great news. Thank you, Brian. Sounds like a good atmosphere at Tynecastle, better than it is here, that's for sure. Still very quiet at Ibrox, despite the fact that their team lead by a goal to nil. Still not being entirely convincing from the home side, but certainly better in this second half. As Rangers look to build here again. It's Penrice left hand side, about 15 yards inside his own half. I wonder how long before Derek McInnes looks to his bench. Looks like a few discussions going on down there. Finlay Curtis, I think, has been spoken to as Neil plays it forward into Nadiri. Just asks too much of Neil there, and he slides in late, and he goes into the referee's notebook for that challenge. He was just so short, I think, by Chukwani's pass, and felt he had to commit, and in doing so earns himself a yellow card. The captain for the night, and a free kick on the halfway line to Jablonec. Curtis definitely getting stripped down there. Someone else who's been spoken to, kind of obscured by, I think it's Alan McGregor who's in the way, but free kick nonetheless to Jablonec.
Cammy Devlin.
Devlin, is it? Okay. out to the left-hand side it goes. We've got about 25 minutes left here at Ibrox. You do feel that, well, Andy, you were saying they do need to take a positive result across there. You feel also that they could do with it being a bit more positive than it is at the moment in order to make it a little bit more comfortable across in the Czech Republic.
Yeah, definitely. I think on the basis of the first half performance, I couldn't see a comfortable victory, but certainly Rangers in the opening 20 minutes of the second half have been much better, much improved for that first half, but they have to try and take advantage of it. Jablonec at this moment in time, they don't look as if they're going to offer much in terms of an attacking outlet.
They've not looked that way the whole evening. It's just that Rangers were equalling that in the first half. Rangers have upped it in the second half. I think it's important Rangers get that second goal to go out there, because despite this team's frailties, away ties in Europe are notoriously difficult.
Rangers win it back midway inside their own half, and now come forward through Yokota out to Gassama on the left hand side. Penrice up with him once more on the outside. It's still Gassama hitting the byline, squares it, it's cleared. A really good, important clearance there from Jablonec's defender. A really crucial intervention. Naderi was waiting to tap in his second of the night as Devlin and Curtis prepare to come on. Rangers have the throw in only. It was a good counter, but unfortunately for Rangers doesn't end up in a goal.
I love Penrice's energy and willingness to do the overlap.
Tom, I don't know about you, it's got to the point, if I'm Rangers, I'm just letting Jablonec come into your half, because anytime they give you the ball back, Rangers are just springing to attack, creating chances.
Here's Makanya, left hand side, swings it into the box, headed away by the captain Tekiyaski, and Makanya will just turn the ball all the way back now to Ivor Pandur, just outside his penalty area. Just the midway point of the second half. Rangers 1, Jablonec 0. Hearts now leading by 2-1 against Rapid Vienna. Motherwell trailing by 2-1 at home to Freiburg, and 0-0 Ghent against Hibs. As Dan Neil, you suspect he'll be replaced by Cammy Devlin, especially now he's got that yellow card. As Makanya brings it forward and just leaves it to Penrice, left hand side, trips over a bit of turf and then plays the ball back into Makanya. Back to the halfway line for Fernandez. Into Dragojevic. He's just kind of been a little bit quieter in the second half. Still working hard though, as Rangers get the throw out on the far side, and that's a chance to make these changes then. Let's see who's coming off as Curtis and Devlin come on, and the first player who will be replaced is Dragojevic, and also Yokota. So Curtis will go on for Yokota. Dragojevic, I thought it would be, I have to say, I did think it would be Dan Neil.
I'm the same. I think Dan Neil obviously been on a booking as well.
Yeah.
Cammy Devlin being more a holding midfield player.
Yeah, you might be looking to, if you're replacing Dragojevic, maybe bringing on a Telo Asgar for him, but Derek McInnes has decided otherwise. Curtis is going to play on that right hand side. Yokota involved with the assist for the only goal of the game, so that's been important for Rangers. Here's Sterling getting to the byline, finds a cross, it's headed away, and then Neil in at the back of his man there and doesn't win possession, but Rangers do get it back on the halfway line through Makanya. Just over 20 to play. It's Gassama left hand side. Another poor effort at a pass. It's knocked out on this near side, and it'll be a Rangers throw in. About 15 yards inside the visitors' half. The two substitutes, or the two players who have been taken off, making their way around. 34,701 inside Ibrox tonight, and most of them applauding Yokota and Dragojevic as they make their way around the perimeter of the pitch here. And Makanya turns it back to his goalkeeper. Here's Fernandez now, still midway inside his own half. Both look like decent additions to the Rangers squad, you would say, in the early stages of the Rangers career. Here's Chukwani, left hand side, ball into Curtis, who's come into a central area, then Neil out to Sterling, right hand side. Midway still inside the Jablonec half. It's Devlin here for Curtis. Back out to Devlin, right hand side. Sterling once more in line with the 18-yard box. Back to Devlin again. There's a short ball into Curtis, coming in off the right, looking to get it back from Devlin, who goes down right on the edge of the box. He's waved to his feet by the referee. I'm not sure the Czech player took anything of the ball there right on the edge of the penalty area, and VAR might have a look at that. As the player that made the challenge, and Devlin is still down. He's just picked himself up. Rangers potentially can take advantage. It was Slama who went down, the left wing back. Back up now as Devlin plays it to Curtis, who goes back to the halfway line to Fernandez. Can Rangers get themselves another goal in this game? But McCanya's gone back to his goalkeeper for now. As Rangers play it safe. Derek McInnes still very active on the edge of his technical area down there. Now the referee's stopping play, and I wonder,
must be the penalty check.
Well, that's the only thing I can think of. He's going to come across and look at it. I did have to say, didn't think the defender took any of the ball as Devlin went down on the edge of the box. Your own views of it?
It just looked rather innocuous to me. Right on the line, it looked as though it was right on the 18-yard line. Devlin certainly was claiming for it. I felt as though Slama stayed down. Maybe that was a kind of sign of guilt from him. He was trying to maybe feign injury to kind of bluff to the referee that he'd caught him, but clearly there's something that VAR have spotted. So
yeah, it looked as if Cammy Devlin almost tried to hook his leg in front of a Slama and try and maybe force the contact from the defender. But again, we don't have a monitor in front of us, we can't see the replay.
It didn't look obvious.
It didn't. But listen, if the penalty's given, it'll be interesting to see who takes it for Rangers.
Shankman's about to come on.
Oh, that's a ploy.
That's your first touch of the ball.
I tell you what, if they don't give the penalty, it'll be interesting to see if Shankman still comes on.
Well, I'm hearing in my ear from the producer who's watching back at base that it looks like a penalty. So let's wait and see what the Romanian referee decides. But yeah, I have to say, at first glance, I thought there was maybe.
Yeah, fair play to you. You did call it early. It's got to be said. But listen, if they're looking at it, it certainly assumes as if the referees in the VAR van feel the same. So it'll be interesting to see if the referee gives it now.
Catalin Popa is the VAR official. Here comes the referee, makes the signal, and it's a red card
to Cammy Devlin. Does he give the red card to?
A red card for Cammy Devlin. Well,
what is going on?
Well, I'm being told.
Well, we've got this very badly wrong.
That
wow.
He's got his boot high on the shin of the Czech player. Well, that is astonishing. That is not at all what I was anticipating coming out of that.
Al, you were sitting taking credit for having spotted the penalty.
Yeah, I know.
Are you wanting to retract that?
Well, I got it badly wrong.
The notes.
Well,
badly wrong.
For what I said earlier, it looked as if Cammy Devlin tried to hook his leg in front of the defender to initiate the contact. So my guess is that as he's done that, he's caught him high on the stamp. But I mean, it has to be said, it didn't look like a red card during play. We were debating whether it's a penalty or not. But obviously we don't see we've not seen any replays to suggest otherwise.
We need to start getting monitors to games. Anyway.
Not in these straightened times, I'm afraid. Everything costs money. Anyway, Jablonec will feel they're up against 10 men for the final quarter of an hour. They've got an opportunity to get a right good result here at Ibrox. They trail by a goal to nil, but Cammy Devlin sent off after he only could have been on for a couple of minutes.
But there's no doubt for me that it looked like Derek McInnes was bringing Shankman on to take the penalty, and you can see since the red card he's been told to sit down, and I think they're planning on making a different type of change.
Yeah, well, Devlin was sent off against Rangers for Hearts, I remember, a few years ago, and now he's got his first red card in his nascent Rangers career. Well, that's bemusing, but
that is that.
VAR has certainly seen something that they and the referee have both decided that was worthy of a red card for the Rangers midfielder. As McCann now. So I wonder at 1-0 up with 10 men. Do you kind of settle for that 1-goal lead to take across there?
You certainly would now, that's for sure. You wouldn't have said that 5 minutes ago. You felt as if Rangers were in the ascendancy. Jablonec were offering, effectively nothing going forward, but they've now got something to go and attack. The Rangers look as if they're now deployed in a 4-4-1 formation. They're going to try and sit in and hold on to what they've got. But I tell you what, there's still opportunities for Rangers, because anytime they've counter-attacked all day long, they've looked probably the most threatening, so there'll still be opportunities there to score a second.
There's virtually no atmosphere.
It has gone. I think everybody's just trying to work out what they've just seen. Everybody will be trying to work out exactly why Cammy Devils has been sent off, because nobody in this stadium thought it was going to be a red card. I think everybody thought it was going to be a penalty kick.
So 1-0 Rangers leads, but they're down to 10 for the last 13 and a half minutes. Motherwell also down to 10 at home to Freiburg, but trailing by 2-1. Hearts leading 2-1 against 0. Hibs 0 as Yawo gets his head to the ball. McCann comes across and just...
he's given a penalty.
No, it's an offside he's given, isn't it? It's an offside.
He definitely points to the spot. He definitely points to the flag. I don't think the ref saw the flag.
The assistant's got the flag up.
I tell you what though, he points to the spot and it's embarrassing for the referee. Honestly, everyone in the stadium sees what McCann's doing here. He tries to step in front to usher the ball to his goalkeeper, and the referee, no doubt about it, points to the spot, but thankfully the linesman's flag goes up for offside.
It was Sedlacek, wasn't it, that was making the run. It was a header. Norrie kind of back across towards the penalty spot, and Sedlacek had tried to get in front of McCann. McCann just uses his body and rolls him.
Offside confirmed.
Yeah. The ref definitely pointed to the 10 spot.
What is he thinking pointing the spot in the first place?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. He definitely looked like he did.
The flag came up after that, Al.
Well, I'm not sure. I think he was maybe pointed and signalled upfield as if like pointing it's a Rangers free kick. Anyway, we can look back at that after the game, but Rangers lead by a goal to 0. 10 men though, with Cammy Devlin sent off. It's full time in Ghent, and it's 0-0. That one's finished. That's a
decent result.
A good score, isn't it? A good scoreline to bring back to Easter Road.
It certainly is.
And so hopefully Hibs can progress to the Conference League group stage, or league stage I should say. As I'm not even going to comment on the foul throws anymore, because you can just assume that any time that Jablonec get a throw in, that they subsequently take a foul throw. Save me boring everyone with it. Here come the visitors down the left hand side looking for an equaliser against the 10 men of Rangers. Down goes Sterling, can't make the challenge though, can't make an effective challenge. Out to the left hand side to Slama, brings into the box. Chikwani nods down, can't find Naderi though, and the Rangers don't want to be camping in their final third, the final defensive third in the closing 12 minutes here, as Jablonec prepare another couple of changes. And Curtis back there working away to win the ball back, gets it to Sterling, and then back to Neil, who clips it forward, and then Jablonec pick up once more in the middle of the park here. It's Zorvan, who's already been introduced off the bench. Out to the right hand side it comes to Chanarishvili, experienced Georgian. Back to Zorvan once more, and then out to the left hand side it goes. Looking to get the ball into the Rangers box here is Slama. Pandur should take that at near post, and he does. Comfortable take there for the Croatian goalkeeper. Just over 10 to play. Rangers leading by a goal to 0, but it's going to be tentative stuff here in the closing stages. Really just the 10 men to play with, as Chikwani sends it back towards Pandur from the halfway line. Pandur waits and then thumps it high in the air. Penrice backpedaling, but Chanarishvili's there first. Chikwani penalised for his challenge there on Zorvan, and we're going to get this double change here as Jablonec bring on Jan Kramosta. He will come on for Nabila in the midfield, and the other player to come on will be Antonin Rušek, and he replaces Slama on the left hand side.
I think at this moment, Ryan Naderi's doing a really honest job coming in to try and help defensively, but it's given Rangers no out ball when they win the ball back. So because of that, they need to try and complete a few passes and work their way up the pitch that way. You can't just clear the ball for danger, because there's nothing up there at this moment in time to make it stick.
Here's Zorvan with a short free kick. Rangers have pulled everyone back, and now it's going to be worked out to the right hand side to Zorvan again, and he rolls it back here to Sedlacek towards the back post, and Aderi gets up there and heads it out for a throw-in over on the far side. There's been a goal at Tynecastle. We'll get there in a moment as it's swung into the Rangers box, flicked on into the 6-yard box. Pandur goes up and makes the punch, and it's going to go behind for a corner. Quickly to Brian McLaughlin.
It's an equaliser for Rapid Vienna. Substitute Nicholas Wormbrand on target. Took a deflection on the way through beyond Borus in the Hearts goal. 10 minutes left here, Owls. Now Hearts 2, Rapid Vienna 2.
Thanks, Brian. Rangers are going to bring on Nedoljkovic for a debut, and Connor Barron is going to come on as well, but not before this corner kick's taken by Zorvan on the right hand side. Nervy moments these for Rangers as they defend this 1-goal advantage with just 10 men. It's Zorvan with the corner kick, outswinger to the back post. A couple of Rangers players go up and kind of get in each other's way. It comes back out to Zorvan, and then Sedlacek will pick up once more and fire it out to the back post. Over on that left hand side now, back into the Rangers box, a very deep ball. In comes the header, it's saved at his near post by Pandur. The header from Sedidla, no real threat, and Rangers about to make a double change of their own the next time the ball it goes out of play. And there's been a goal at Fir Park, but we'll get there in just a minute as Rangers try and come forward here. Again, they've coughed up possession, and Jablonec will go looking for the equaliser once more. Fernandez knocks out of play quickly. Kerdin Idsan.
Yeah, it's a goal for Freiburg, Al, unfortunately, and it's come right at the end of the match. A header from a corner kick, just trying to establish who has scored, but it's bad news for Motherwell. Motherwell 1, Freiburg 3.
Thanks, Kerdin. Still Rangers wait to make the change. Derek McInnes wanted to make it as the ball went out of play there, and the fourth official wasn't ready, and he got a snarl from the Rangers manager as Zorvan sends it into the back post. Pandur takes that comfortably inside his 6-yard box. 83 minutes on the clock, and it is Rangers 1, Jablonec 0, but Cammy Devlin sent off within a couple of minutes of coming on as a substitute for an incident that was spotted by VAR, which we are still kind of none the wiser about, really, having not seen a replay, but sounds like he caught the Jablonec player high in the shin. So the final 6.5 minutes to be played. Rangers looking to just see this one out.
Yeah, that's what it's all about now, Alistair. It really is. Just getting the clean sheet, their first clean sheet of the season, and they take an advantage, albeit slim, over to the Czech Republic.
Cammy Devlin obviously will be suspended for that one as Jablonec come forward down their left hand side. Sedlacek taking over from Chinarishvili. Zorvan now, he's seen plenty of the ball since he's come on. Into the box it comes, Sterling away, and Aderi nods it down for Neil, but he's just given it straight back to Jablonec, and they'll come forward again down this left hand side. Shot comes in, Pandur, that's a good take actually. It was a really well hit shot from Kramosta there, the substitute, and from a fair old distance out as well, but fortunately for Rangers, Pandur was lively enough. Sorry, it was Rušek who took that shot, and a lot of the substitutes, but Pandur, safe hands, as I say, he's looking for his first clean sheet of the season. Here comes Yawo into the penalty. He's gone beyond Fernandez, who can't really make the challenge. He does enough though just to put the big striker off, and Pandur able to gather once again, but Rangers on thin ice here really. 5 minutes to play, still they lead by a goal to nil. It's finished 3-1 at Fir Park 2, Freiburg That looks probably beyond them, with the second leg to come in Germany next week as Naderi gets the flick on. Gassama will chase this on the left-hand side. Can Rangers snatch a second as Gassama trying to curl it, comes off Jablonec's defender, behind for a corner kick. A bit of respite here for Rangers in the final few minutes.
Yeah, and they'll finally get to make these substitutions. Sorry, Andy.
I'm not sure they will make them, will they? Yeah, they are going to make them.
I think so. I'd be very surprised if Ryan Naderi doesn't come off here. You can see him, he's over on his hunches, his hands on his knees. But when it's Conor Barron and Nedeljkovic, that's coming on. No, it's not. It's Dan Neal and Jerry Gassama, which I'm really surprised about. I think Rangers need fresh legs at the top end of the pitch. I think Ryan Naderi's done a tower of work to help out his team defensively. Rangers need an out ball anytime they're defending at this moment in time and win the ball back.
First appearance of the season for Conor Barron, and a debut for Kosta Nedeljkovic as Neal and Gassama come off. I'm not sure quite how that will affect. Well, certainly Barron and Neal, that's a straight swap, but where Nedeljkovic is going to play, not quite sure.
Need to work it out after this corner's come in.
Yeah, the corner then for Rangers, right hand side. Will be taken by Penrice. What they would give for a second goal here. Penrice swings it into the near post. It's inside the 6-yard box, stabbed towards goal, but the keeper dives on it in the end. I think Fernandez got the final touch on that, but eventually seized upon by Hanush. And Jablonec try and come forward, but it's straight out of play.
It's an awful pass.
And 3 minutes left on the clock. Still Rangers 1, Jablonec 0. But well, it hasn't, apart from a spell at the start of the second half, it hasn't been a pretty watch, this one, for the Rangers fans. Naderi's goal still separates the sides as Barron, who looked to be out the picture, he might yet depart.
He's done well.
But,
he's done so well.
Naderi forcing that through down the right-hand side. Into the box it comes, looking for Curtis from the substitute Nedeljkovic, who looks like he's going to kind of play a bit higher up on the right-hand side. But Jablonec managed to win back possession. A couple of minutes plus stoppage time left to play here at Ibrox. Rangers leading by a goal to 0 in these closing stages. Down to 10 after Cammy Devlin's second half red card. As Jablonec look for an equaliser. I don't suppose they'll consider a one-goal deficit to be a terrible result.
No. They won't, especially with a home leg to come.
But obviously, if they could get an equaliser, then so much the better for them. And there's a little flick in there by Rušek, but no teammate can get onto it. Macania trying to come forward from defence. He holds off the striker there, Yawo, pretty well, and he's applauded for that composure and strength by the home fans. And here's Penrice now coming forward. Curtis on the left-hand side now, got away from his man. Penrice in support in the middle. Curtis is beyond one and he goes down, and that'll be a free kick right on the edge of the box, and a yellow card there for Hugo Al, the substitute. It's a free kick in a decent position. This maybe a little bit tricky to get a direct shot off from goal. It's probably too far left of centre for that, but certainly Penrice will be able to lift this into the penalty area.
How well did Curtis do there?
Yeah, he done unbelievably well. And Macania's got to be said defensively. I think Macania's had a really good game, Tomo.
Yeah, so steady, isn't he?
Yeah, and finally Curtis shows great composure, fakes it as if he's almost trying to hook it in behind, and the defender buys it, jumps, but takes a lovely little touch inside, drives into the box. And Rangers are putting the big guns up. Fernandez in the box, so I'd imagine this is going to get swung in.
Yeah, it's Penrice is over. It's just a yard really outside the penalty area, maybe 2, but well left of centre. There's I'm going to say a 2.5 and a 3-man wall now, maybe. And
they can't be thinking he's hitting this.
Well, I'm not sure. They're not taking any chances. But Penrice stands over it, dinks it towards the back post, headed away. Comes back in from Sterling. He wasn't the man you wanted to meet that on the volley, and it's well wide in the end from the fullback into the final minute here. Rangers 1, Jablonec 0 as fourth official prepares to show the board. And Jablonec come forward here into the penalty that comes. It's brought under control by Al. 4 minutes added on, and we're just about to move into those now as Conor Barron tries to bring the ball forward on the right hand side. Can't find Miljakovic though, and Jablonec pick up once more. We're into added on time. Rangers leading by a goal to nil, but down to 10 men since Cammy Devlin's red card on 71 minutes, a straight red on the advice of VAR, as Jablonec now look for an equaliser late in this game. Rangers trying to hold firm. It's played down the left-hand side, comes back into the box. Fernandez clears his lines from the near post area. Naderi, who's given his all, will chase that, and he's dragged to the ground. It's really good striker play, lone striker play once again from Naderi, and it's going to be another yellow card there. I can't quite see who that Jablonec player is, as Lauren Shankland's going to come on for stoppage time here, and presumably that will be for Naderi.
I've got to say, I think that's, this second half probably the work rate he's shown. Naderi, this will be one of his best performances in a Rangers jersey in this second half. He's given absolutely everything, chase lost cause. He's made a nuisance of himself. It's difficult to do when you're up there and you're isolated, and I think he can be really pleased with his night's work, as the supporters are shown.
Yeah, only goal of the game scored by Ryan Naderi, and could yet be a crucial one as Rangers look to take that advantage across to the Czech Republic next Thursday. We'll bring you that one live as well, as Rangers try and secure their place in the Conference League. Shankland goes to try and challenge for the ball played through the middle, can't get on the end of it. Well, he did get on the end of it and knocked it straight out of play. It's back with the goalkeeper, Hanush. As Jablonec look to force a late leveller here on Ibrox, which is emptying. As the Rangers fans, well, would be delighted if they get another victory, a second successive one, to build a bit of momentum. It hasn't always been a great performance. There was certainly elements in the second half where they were doing a lot better, but when they went down to 10, that didn't help. Conor Barron almost nipping in there, and the ball's played forward, and it's one for Shankland to chase. Zorban tries to guide it back to the goalkeeper and manages to do so.
Does well. He does well, it's got to be said. The ball was coming for 60 yards out the sky, and he had Lon Shankland and Conor Barron bearing down on him.
Here come Jablonec once more, looking for something from the game late on, but Chukwani goes back there and plays it to Penrice. He tries to play it down the left-hand side. It comes off Jawo, and out for the throw-in to Rangers on this left flank, midway inside their own half. The referee encouraging James Penrice to get on with it here. Down the left-hand side it will come, looking for Shankland. It's headed back forward though. McCanya's got a bit of defending to do. I thought he was in front of Jawo there, but he let the striker get in front, and then is dinked into the penalty area, laid back to the edge of the box, and the curling shot is over the top, and relief for Rangers in the final minute of the game. Knocked over the crossbar by Sedlacek, who ran onto it from 19 yards, couldn't hit the target. It remains Rangers 1, Jablonec 0.
They've not had a lot of chances in the match, Alan. That's probably one of their better ones. You've got to say, when it's laid back out to Sedlacek, he's just 17 yards out. He's got to be hitting the target so late on in the game. That was the big chance for them. Rises high over Pandur's bar.
Well, we're in time added on now. There won't be too much more, as Rangers have the throw-in over on the far side in an advanced area. It's knocked out once more, and that'll be that. The final whistle sounds, and Rangers have the victory. It's a narrow victory, a one-goal lead to take over to Jablonec next week. The only goal of the game coming from Ryan Naderi near the start of the second half, as Dan Neil flighted the ball into the back post. There was Daisuke Yokota to knock it back across goal, and Naderi from only a few yards out was able to tap into the back of the net for the only goal of the game. Rangers had hit the post in the first half through Dragicevic, but it was a first half that left a lot to be desired. The second half performance was better, but on 71 minutes, a major blow to Rangers' chances as Cammy Devlin, who was only on the park a matter of minutes as a substitute, was red carded after the VAR drew the referee's attention to a challenge on Slama at the edge of the box. We thought potentially it was going to be a penalty given in Rangers' favour, but as it turned out, it was the red card that was shown to Cammy Devlin for his challenge, and Rangers played out the game with 10 men. They didn't manage to force another opportunity of their own. Jablonec barely troubled Pandur throughout the 90 plus minutes, but just at the death there, a big chance for Sedlacek from the edge of the box, but he lifted it high over the crossbar. And so at Ibrox, the first leg of this Conference League playoff finishes. Rangers 1, Jablonec 0.
Following Scotland's teams in Europe live.